Okay.
Where's gay?
Gay. Gay. All right, and there it is. I know I have to give this to Lumi as well because Lumi requested the link. All right, I'm making sure we are live. We are indeed live, and Mally's cursed character is on screen. Perfect. Okay.
Beautiful.
Perfect. All right, let me go ahead. You guys can go ahead and open up, or I guess Jar can open up first.
Jar, you can go.
Well, before we get to your questions, I think we should discuss, maybe a bit about the last debate, if that's cool with you.
Anything you want to bring up is fine. It's your opening statement. I won't interrupt you. I am terribly sorry about that.
Well, in your comment, you mentioned about refusing to take the L on certain things, and I would appreciate it if we knew what those things were.
Okay, so I know during the questions and answers part is a very good thing to bring up. Molly asked me a question, and I refused to say I didn't know. I refused to back down. I came up with the most stupidest response. And honestly, it's not good. It's not good. And she was right, and I was wrong. Honestly, I shouldn't be trying to answer questions for Daft or be defending Daft, since I'm not here to necessarily defend Daft, but rather to point out my issues with your video and the way that you make them.
Okay, anything else? Like
I haven't watched it, but if you want to bring up some things and ask some clarifying questions, I can try to answer that to the best of my ability.
All right, so towards the end, I was asking you about the whole Dangle thing and how Daft listened to Dangle's wish of not having a white man speak about her post, and he got a black girl to read it, but he didn't listen to her about the whole putting it in a sponsored video thing. And I just found it weird that he would listen to her with that thing, but not the other thing. And you seem to think my point was that I had a problem with Daft letting a black girl read out a part of his video, and Peaches asked you about that twice, and it took a few times before you understood that I wasn't having a problem with a black person reading something out in a video.
1,000%. I had an issue because I was shocked that their skin color was even brought up, because I just in my day-to-day when I hire voice actors or work with voice actors, I'm not thinking about the color of their skin. It shocked me, and I got way too hyper-focused on it, and I should have taken the L. Daft shouldn't have used Dangle's post. Dangle had showed themselves to be a little kooky, and that whole video should have been focused on the mobile game, as opposed to bringing into speculation. That is my honest opinion on that.
Okay, because to me, I felt as if though you were trying to paint me as this guy who was so cartoonishly racist that my issue with Daft's video, one of my issues with his video was that, oh my god, Daft got a black person to read it out. Oh god.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's what you meant. I understand now after thinking about that your issue wasn't with the race of the person, but rather how it seems to imply that Daft had cooperated with someone who's shown themselves to be
okay. And I promise this is the last one. I mean, I do have more, but I also want us to move forward with this.
Okay, answering as many as you want me to.
Oh, okay, because I didn't write that many down. I'm mostly going off of this from memory.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, if there's anything else you can remember, I guess you can say them here before we get to the first couple of questions.
Like I said, yesterday was a bit of an or rather, the time we were doing that debate, I was very not in the best mental space. Not necessarily, I'm not trying to blame depression or anything like that. Just I was super anxious, super wanting to get my point out there, that I lost sight of the fact that I was in a debate. And I'm hoping to correct this now. But as a result of being in an anxious haze, I'm not entirely sure the exact wording I used, and I didn't rewatch the video. I'm sure it's pretty cringe.
Yeah, it's pretty much Have you ever seen the Trump versus Biden debate, the first one?
I didn't watch the presidential debates.
Okay,
I kind of already disagreed with Trump on a
Okay,
lot.
have you seen the John Swan versus Kai debate?
I did not.
Okay, those are the only two examples I have. I don't have anything else that I think you would be aware of. All right, well, I guess we can continue, but you're going to be a bit better. You're going to be a bit better faith this time, right?
100%, 1,000%.
All right, sounds good.
All right, cool. So, I was originally in my opening statement going to bring up the way they acted in the last debate and say that that's not going to happen this time. But we already kind of did that. So I think the best thing to do is just to move on with the understanding that I'm not here to defend Daft or his past actions. I'm sure he can do that himself. I am mostly here to talk about inaccuracies with a video as I see them. And if I'm proven wrong, I am totally willing to admit that I'm wrong on things. So with that out of the way, I got the jar questions doc up. I got everything ready to go, and we'll just start at the top here. I'm going to word this very carefully, considering what we all just sat through before this even started. And I only bring this up because I feel very passionately about this subject, and I'm not entirely sure if Jar is on the same page with me on this. But do you think that the 2-year age gap makes the catfishing David partook in less predatory?
Okay, so the whole catfishing thing, I made it clear in the video that that was wrong. I said, did they catfish someone? Yes. Was that wrong? Yes. Now, do I think the 2-year age gap makes it less bad? Yes, because if it was between like something like a 20-something-year-old and a 15-year-old, that would have been way, way worse. And when you use language like they were catfishing a minor as an adult, I think most people immediately picture a 20-something-year-old. And when they picture a minor, they don't picture a minor who's almost turning 18. Now, maybe not everyone thinks that, but I think enough do that it should be clarified by Daft.
Okay. This is where me and you have a fundamental disagreement. Obviously, an older person who's like in their early to mid 20s has more tools to work with than someone who is like in their like teenage years. And you know, the point of Romeo and Juliet laws is to prevent people from being unfairly charged with statutory rape when the age difference isn't that big of a deal, or that big of a difference, and it was like all consensual and all that stuff. That's not the case here. We have someone who is over the age of 18, intentionally lying about their identity to someone they know to be under the age of 18 for the sole purpose of eliciting nudes and, you know, lewd behavior out of them. And I feel like that is the only factor that matters. Like, obviously, it would be even worse if he was, like, in his mid-30s and, like, doing this, like, as a serial abuser. But as a content creator, one that shares a platform with, you know, everyone that uses Twitter and has a significant amount of influence, the fact that they were engaging in this behavior is just, in my opinion, my morals, evil. Nothing less than evil. And when I think about that situation, I want to communicate that evil. And I think, you know, as we'll go down here, but yeah, I believe that's evil. And especially in like your video, the way that you bring up the age gap, I feel like downplays that evil, which is part of why I have an issue. Do you have any response? Feel free to talk on mute.
I was waiting for you to finish. Okay, so the whole... Let me mute my phone. It literally didn't go off until now, I swear. Okay. So, my issue is... like, if I think the catfishing thing, yeah, that's fucked up. That's why I said in a different section of the video, did they catfish a minor? Yes. Was that wrong? Yes. My problem is Daft doesn't bring up the age. Now, and I keep saying, like, hey, this is what I think. And you can say, well, I think David is a horrible person, or whatever their name is, so they deserve... I don't think you should lie about people even when they do wrong. Like, tell the truth. Just say, hey, this is the age gap, 2 years, because I don't think it was right that Call Me Carson got canceled the way he did for dating someone 2 years younger than him. Now, I think the catfishing thing, yeah, fuck Tina, I almost said Dangle, fuck Tina Fey for catfishing someone. Like, if I was catfished by someone 2 years older than me, and I'm a full-grown man, and they said they were a woman, but they were actually a guy, I would feel like that's fucked up. Whether I'm a minor or not, I think catfishing someone is fucked up. The thing is, we also have to remember that Tina Fey is also a teenager. They're not old enough to drink. They're not old enough to rent a car. I mean, like, it's funny that people were calling, to me, Call Me Carson a man, but they would call the person Keemstar was dating a child. And I guess that's what I got for now.
All right, understood. So the first part that I would like to talk about out of all that is the you said that Daft lied. I don't feel like leaving that information out is like lying. Like, I mean, sure, you could say that it certainly does look a bit, I mean, to me, it's not that much worse, but yeah, a little bit worse when you don't have that in there. But I feel like what they did was pretty evil. I would heavily disagree with your use of the word lie in that context, because I don't think that was lying at all. Second, Call Me Carlson. I don't know much about his situation, but I do know that he also happened to take a sabbatical from the internet when all that happened and, like, got help, from what I understand. David didn't. And also wouldn't have stopped until we made all this public. That's like, I feel like Call Me Carlson and the way that he handled his situation is way different too, because Call Me Carlson also wasn't, like, lying about who he is. So I feel like the situations aren't really comparable at all. Like, it's just, I get what you're trying to say, but I think you're horribly misguided at best. And I'll pass the mic.
Okay, well, the reason why I compare it to the Call Me Carson situation is just because of the age gap. Obviously, the whole catfishing thing and lying about your identity makes it a lot worse, but I don't think Call Me Carson could even lie about his identity like everyone knows who he is. And I think it's speculation if Tina Fey was going to do this again, because it was only a 2-year age gap. They were both teenagers. If there was a pattern of behavior, like if Tina Fey does this again, then yeah, I do think they deserve to get like dunked on for that, for sure. And like, my issue with this is, let's say you're dating this girl in high school, and you blew out the candles on your 18th birthday cake, and she was still 17, and I tweeted it out, Creep's work was dating a minor when he was an adult, and not bringing up the ages. I don't think you'll be happy with that. Like, you're not happy with people bringing up Daft's drawing without the age. So, like, I do think ages matter here.
Am I cool to go?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So, there's a little bit in that. With this context, this happened, like, okay, one, when I say Tina wouldn't have stopped, it's because the fact that Tina wouldn't admit to it until we had publicly exposed them. We had made multiple attempts to reach out, and as we've seen, Daft very unsubtly told them that they knew who they were and that they need to stop, essentially. Now, of course, that came across like threatening his docs. And honestly, I would probably come to that same conclusion too. But if I was catfishing someone and pretending to be a woman, and I heard someone unabashedly knew who I was, I would come out. And we gave them an opportunity to, but they never did until they were directly called out on Twitter, which implies to me that the only reason why they're admitting to it and the only reason why they stopped pretending to be a woman was because they were called out. You can talk.
Sure, I can agree with that aspect. I mean, really wasn't, I don't think I was ever disagreeing with that aspect of it in the first place. My problem is the way Daft handled it actually got them more of a following, and now it's really hard for anyone to talk about the Tina Fey situation. Like, I think Lio or other members of this Discord could have handled that much, much better. Anything else you gotta say?
There are certainly potentially people who could have handled that better. I think that is also true for like any situation. Police officer probably could handle Kritsik Pasta better than I could, but one person was put in the effort to
who?
Kritsik Pasta.
I don't know who that is.
Long story short, 2 million subscriber YouTuber I used to I had dealings with, worked with in the past. Turned out that he was lying about sexting a 12-year-old. And I did a pretty long video on that if you're interested, but that's not the important case here. The thing is that sometimes it's just being in the right place at the right time, yeah. It just... Sorry, I'm I got a little bit of a stomach thing.
Fine. If I might interject for just a moment,
Feel free.
The disconnect here is you're right that there's always going to be somebody who could have handled that better, but the problem here, Creepy, I think that Char's probably alluding to and maybe not voicing as openly, is you literally had the ability to contact me. I've known you for 4 years now, man.
Okay, so I'll explain this to you, Leo. The situation of the matter was as follows. When I got involved, or rather, not necessarily even involved, just in the same call, it was shortly before the pictures were released. And I was in a call with a few other people, Daft and God, I can't remember his name, but I would have to look it up. But another content creator. Point being is that by the time I had gotten involved, I was like on my phone at a grocery store with it about to drop. I didn't really have time to drop a line to you, Leo. And I also didn't have the time to convince everyone there, or rather explain to them who you are, why it's important for you to be there, and also for me to have the full optics of the situation at the time everything was posted. I don't think it's fair that I, in the heat of the moment, wouldn't think to call Leo at that exact time.
Oh, no, I get it.
It's honestly, hindsight 2020, probably would have called you and been like, "Hey, Leo, what do you think about this?" But I was like, I had like 3 things on my hands, and it wasn't until like after stuff was posted that I was even like really able to dig in and see what it was all about. I hope that clears that up.
I suppose.
Okay. I think we can move on to number 2.
Well, let me just say this.
Okay.
Should I have worded myself a bit differently? Yes, but I don't think I should take that part out, because I know you say I'm downplaying what they did or defending them, but I don't really feel like I'm doing that. I don't really feel like I'm like saying, "Oh, Tina Fey did nothing wrong." My problem with Daft is he brought them up in a Puppeteer gaming video, which had nothing to do with Tina Fey and left out their ages. And to me, that's really suspicious. Like, he's trying to lead his viewers into thinking something like it's way worse than it is. And I mean, we had the Antoon situation with the whole questioning the genitals of a minor thing. And this makes things harder for people who want to expose like the really bad predators. So I get where you're coming from, but I just disagree.
That's fair. And honestly, there's a lot more to that we will get into once we get down. Because there is a reason why I say I think you were downplaying it. And it's not just because you thought that it was in an inappropriate spot or because you think that Daft should have mentioned the names. There's a very specific reason why I feel like it's more insidious than that. But we'll get to that once we get to that point. So number 2, based on the evidence that Tina Fate 1 had a public Discord/Facebook where he freely talked about his past accounts, do you still consider it to be a dox?
I certainly wish I did have that info at the time, so I could have put it in the video to make it more clear. However, Leo has my docs. Now, someone else got it through... What?
No, Leo has everyone's doxes.
Okay, but he got it through someone else. And that person found it because on an old account, I apparently omitted my real first and last name there. Now, I thought the people who doxed me got my docs through someplace else because, like, my Google Plus account, because I thought the Google Plus account wasn't going to show up when I joined Google Voice. I was really stupid back then and new to the internet. I hate how Google did that back then. Like, oh, use your real face and use your first and last name, the real ones. Now,
Thanks, Google.
So in a way, if Leo knew about my past old account, used Wayback Machine, saw my name on there, and sent it public, in my book, I would have felt doxed. Now, I think Tina Fey is an idiot for putting their docs in their Facebook account, linking it to their Discord. That whether their Discord was public or private doesn't matter.
Can I interrupt you real quick? Just so I can add some context. I'm not arguing, just gonna add context so that people...
Sure.
Okay. Basically, Tina Fate 1 mentioned in their public Discord, hey, does anyone remember me from when I used to go by insert account name here? When you Googled that account name, it had it brought up images that contained his full legal name, and from there we found his Facebook on public. When the pictures were posted, they were edited to remove identifying information of where it was at, with only the information that's important to understanding that David was a cis male being left in the post. So I'll give it back to you.
Is that tweet of Daft still up?
Probably. I don't have it on me.
Okay, well, the issue I have is that people told Daft, hey, this could lead to them getting doxxed, and he didn't take the tweet down. People tried to reach out, Harley, for instance, tried to reach out to explain this. And you can make an argument between hard and soft doxes. Tina Fey was an idiot for leaving that out there. But when it comes to, you have, oh my gosh, is James finding where Speechy went to school, and Quentin Curio called that out. And I think a Facebook is a little bit more important than where someone went to school. Even if Speechy mentioned in a private Discord where she went to school, if David wanted his Facebook account to be linked to his current account, he would have linked it himself. Daft put it out on his platform, his Twitter, which is huge, ginormous. Now, technically, a lot of other people like me, Harley, and the other people who've talked about this are also a bit at fault because we talked about this in our videos. So we're also at fault for this a little bit.
I disagree with you that it's a dox. Facebook was left on public, and also David never privated it to this day. Harley TBS, I feel like, was wrong in his video, and
Then-
I really it wasn't great. I just
Well, you can say that about all
like,
of Harley's. You can say that about all of Harley's videos.
which is confusing why you put it in your video. You used him in your video, like played his clips and was like, watch his video. He did a good one. And it's like, if you think that he like doesn't make great videos and he gets shit wrong all the time, why like include it without like, I don't know. It's weird, you know?
Well, I don't think he gets shit wrong all the time. I just think his videos are trash. They're a bore to sit through. Just look at me. I'm Khaleesi clone number 2400.
I also like I said.
Lyle wants to speak, guys. Like, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Quick, couple things I want to address here. First and foremost, I ask that it be respected that Harley goes by they, them, so please.
Apologies if I fucked up there.
Oh, yeah, you both did. But just try to keep that in mind when referring to Harley. Secondly, I think you both need to learn to define your terms on doxing, because there's a legal definition depending on state, and there's, of course, the dictionary definition, but there's also personal definitions people use. For example, when people usually talk about doxing, in layman's terms on the internet, it's usually somebody found out my real name. But the definition of doxing is finding private information and publishing it. Legal definition varies state to state. In my state, and Jar state, legally you cannot dox a regular person. In fact, the only person that there's any sort of legal recourse for if they get doxed, their private information put publicly, is if they're a police officer. So you have to figure out how you want to tackle that argument, and you also have to define what you consider a dox. If you're able to follow, my opinion, if you're able to follow very basic stuff to find somebody's very much so public Facebook, you haven't doxed them. They put that information out, publicly. That's not a dox. Somebody just saying, "Here I am," and taking no care to protecting their information. That's my value, and now I'm gonna mute.
Okay. Continuing off of the doxing thing too, like pictures that were posted to his Facebook were also like, if I'm not mistaken, were also like in the Discord, and like paintings that collaborated with the Facebook also collaborate to Discord, and you kind of need to prove that the guy is not a girl in order to prove that they're catfishing. So how else are we supposed to like prove this to a general audience without like releasing stuff that was found on a public Facebook page? We aren't talking about a private person. We're talking about a public figure.
I would have just showed their face, and that's it. And if they continued to dodge after that, I would like start to show little by little more. That's how I would have probably done it.
I mean, I suppose, but like, you know, like I don't think anything malicious happened. Nothing bad as a result of showing these pictures happened. Not enough to make David even take the precaution of removing this information or making it even harder to access. So, like, why keep harping on it?
I will admit, at the time, I didn't have the information about it being in their Discord, or anything like that. So there's that. That's. Oh, you want to go ahead?
I just okay. Sorry to interrupt you. I just to clarify too. Do you think Daft soft doxed, hard doxed, or like I don't know the level of.
At the time, I thought it was more of a hard dox. Like, okay, maybe they had their artwork on there. Maybe they had on their Facebook. Sure, fine. But that's what I thought. But now that I realize it was on their Discord, that's a different story. But I think last time you told me that Daft wasn't aware at the time that it was linked to their Discord in the last call, if I'm not mistaken.
That was in our private call, and that was me misremembering a different situation. I talked to Daft about it actually like a day after, after I got some sleep, and he corrected me on that. So that was fake news from your boy Creepy.
Okay, because like the way Daft worded it, he said, "I was approached by people giving me your real face and name. So sure, let's look down your history, bro."
And that was just it was supposed to intimidate him. It wasn't anyone on the outside looking in, like just that looks like a dox threat, and I understand why you. Yeah.
Could I have some evidence of this? Because like if you're telling the truth, then I think you got a pretty solid point here. But I want to make sure you're telling the truth.
No worries. Let's see if I have the Tina Fate stuff in my documents. I might not. But
Gotta find it.
yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. It just might take a second, because I wasn't.
Okay. Well, while you're looking, just so the chat knows, hey, Mally, can you just talk for just a second?
Hello.
See, there you go. That's what that's what happens to Mally's character. Mally's character when she talks. There you go, chat.
I mean, also in fairness, the chat doesn't seem to be complaining.
I'm just here to cause chaos at this point.
Fucking Christ. Okay, there you go. There you go, chat. Well, is Creepy looking for a tweet?
I'm looking for some pictures. They're not in my debate file because I didn't know I was going to be bringing it up, but it is on my computer.
Okay, all right, cool.
How about we talk about this later? We move on to the next point. Let's put a pin on this so we don't forget. So, like, hey, Queen, make sure to remind us because
Okay, sure.
I just want evidence, and that's it.
I have the evidence.
Yeah,
when I say I have it, I mean I have it in front of me.
Oh, you have it in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like, give it to Jar or?
Yeah, I'm putting them all together. Just a few images because it's like it's like going from Discord to Facebook. It's like you gotta.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Oh,
okay.
chat is killing me
So,
now. Okay.
where do you want the pictures to be posted?
Give it to him DMs. Like, I think it'd probably
DMs?
be good for DMs. Yeah. Yeah, if they're pictures of another person, I don't know. Probably.
They're not. It's not another person. It's just how we found the Facebook.
Oh.
It's
Oh,
just
fuck it.
drawings
VC
he did that
context.
connect to the Facebook.
VC context.
Yes, VC context. Okay. Where I got VC context. All right. And I got these labeled in order. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. One second, there's one more.
Okay.
Oh, at least you're handing over evidence. I wonder. Okay, Lave, if you're wondering why Creepy is even wanting to defend Daft, like, number one, they're friends, they've worked with each other, and number two, Jar's video, one of Jar's videos, basically calls into question the people that Daft has essentially worked with, and Creepy feels the need to talk. I mean, to basically defend himself as well. So I think that's a.
I've been getting a few comments on Twitter, I've seen it around, and then I start. And honestly, just so we can clarify here, Daft never told me about any Jar video. Daft didn't tell me about Rhythm Rev. I got recommended it through the algorithm, and then I watched it and was like, Daft. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, Jar made a video on you. And he's like, yeah. So it wasn't like he was asking me to come here and defend him or anything. This is all my idea.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify with the chat, just in case somebody wanted to ask that.
And just a few more. Sorry, I got just some extra stuff. Just, we reverse image searching images, seeing where they show up in other Facebooks. And then also, cross-confirming information set into Discord with, that of the Facebook.
Okay. So what you're saying is they didn't link their Facebook account. They asked, does anybody remember this old name of mine? And when you look up that old name, you find their old Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, that's a little...
They directed people to that name and then said it was them.
I mean, the evidence you show me, they just say, hey, does anybody, do any of you people know me as this person?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like, it's one comment, but like the way I thought you were, what I thought your evidence was that they actually linked their Facebook account, but that doesn't look like what they're doing.
No,
they probably just had a lapse in judgment. Like they're a fucking idiot for doing this.
Yeah, and thank God that they did, because they were catfishing someone. Because if they didn't, no one would know. He'd probably still be doing it. Especially since they weren't willing to come out on their own.
I mean, okay. I don't think the whole I live in Cali thing is very good, because like I lived in Cali, it's a big place. I moved to Texas. Like if I say that and someone says, hey, Jar moved to Texas, fine. But if I went, hey guys, here's my birth certificate, my maiden name, and my that's a bit different.
You need to understand the context for this. This is how we were able to confirm that the David from the, Discord is the same David from the Facebook, because since he's like, I live in Cali now and used to live in the Philippines, and when that all lines up with the Facebook, it adds to the evidence that this person actually corresponds to this Facebook account, which was left on public.
Okay, because what I thought happened was they linked their Facebook.
No, they just linked to an account that had their full name associated with it and linked to the Facebook. And then told people, hey, does anyone remember me when I was doing this? Which I think still pretty dumb, but it's not like we were hacking into accounts. It's not like we were doing anything but looking at stuff that he was posting in his own Discord that happened to link to his actual identity.
You guys hacked into the mainframe.
Yeah, totally.
Well, now that I know this information, I still consider it at least soft doxing. I mean, David clearly didn't want their Facebook account to be out there and linked to their current account. But at the same time, they did catfish someone and they had to do it to prove it this way, and they were being difficult.
Yes.
So...
we had to be sure that this was...
Hang on for a second. I need to let someone in.
Understood. 1,000%.
Oh no, you're arguing on the internet. Stay outside.
So I'm just kind of like, soft doxing? What? I heard this was mentioned.
Obviously I disagree, but I mean, that's not what's said in the videos.
But more importantly, like I found my stalker through looking up his 4chan post, cross-referencing that with a like on a Facebook post, then cross-referencing that with Toys R Us he said he worked for, and cross-referencing that with the image he put on Twitter to find the same type of crack in that Toys R Us. And then I was able to double-check through verifying his other public accounts on his Facebook to make sure it was the right guy, and his name is Adam Galvin, and I hope he dies in a car crash.
Okay,
I might turn on the cat cam, guys.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Obviously, I agree. I disagree that it's even like I wouldn't even go as far as saying soft docs. Harley TBS's issue was that he was afraid that people were going to use the scant information in the pictures to find his Facebook, which obviously you can. But, those pictures were also needed to prove that he was catfishing a minor. And I feel like, the greater, the lesser of two evils. I don't really even... Why am I saying lesser of two evils? I don't think what Daft did was evil. And in your videos, you use the word doxer a lot, like as a way to like put him down, as a way to portray him as someone who's willing to just release your personal information if he doesn't like you. And that's not what happened here, yet that's what's implied in your videos.
Well, I wish I did know the information sooner. So
We'll be getting into that later.
I'll think it over, and I'll probably edit that section out because, like, I rather have my videos be true and call Daft things out for what he really did than things that he did not do.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry for the way I was being a bit uncharitable towards you. Like, I'm criticizing you for being bad faith, and then here I am yesterday, just assuming the absolute shit out of you.
You were saying I was defending a predator, and you kind of gaslit me a little bit there.
I still think you were, but we didn't go over why that is the case. Actually, it's funny. I think we can skip question 3 because it's like in the second video, Jar states that David's private Facebook was never set to private. Obviously, we can't do a conclusion on that, so we can move forward with in the second video. And if you want to go like pull up the timestamp, or if we want to play it for chat or whatever, in the second video at 24:03, Jar calls Daft bringing attention to Tina Fate's catfishing to light as trying to cancel him for the crime of receiving nudes from a 17-year-old. Do you not see how that downplays the predatory behavior that Tina Fate 1 engaged in?
I mean, you say minor, but I think someone 2 years younger than them is more accurate of a description. And I don't think that's downplaying it. I'm saying exactly what happened. He tried to cancel them, but obviously it didn't work. In fact, if anything, Daft got them more of a following.
Okay. So, but the phrase you used was canceling. I think you were being sarcastic when you were saying canceling, because I don't think Daft canceled Tina Fate 1. In fact, I think they're quite fine with what they're doing now.
He kind of did the opposite.
It doesn't matter. It's just, the point being is that the information's out there. It could have been probably done better, but I think in part the reason why they're doing so well is because of just the mentality that the age difference is more important than the fact that they're lying about who they are as an influencer. Like it doesn't, like, for me, it wouldn't matter if they were the same age, like a minor catfishing another minor, and the minor who's catfishing also happens to be an influencer. That would be still wrong. Very wrong, in my opinion. I think like I said, it's still involving the use of deception in order to extract sexual behavior. And David, even though, is still what I would consider to be a kid, before 20, but just because he's a kid doesn't mean that at the age of 19 he should have known that stealing someone else's identity in order to solicit nudes.
Wait, did they steal someone else's identity?
They were using someone else's picture so that they could pretend to be a woman. So yes, they were committing identity theft by using someone else's image as a way to more accurately, like, convince people that they're a real person.
My issue with this is that they were still young at the time, and I haven't seen them do this a second time. Like, unless, like, if this was a pattern of behavior, yeah, absolutely. And they did get dunked on pretty hard at one point. They apologized for what they did. Granted, they were a fucking little bitch trying to get out of this by acting so childish until the Facebook account stuff happened. But I don't think I downplayed what they did, because I said later on in the video, was them catfishing someone else wrong? Yes.
Okay. So this is going to lead on to my next point. Jar, or rather, for the stream, could we play the clip at 24:55 in the second Jar video? Sarah?
Is everybody still alive? Is it just me, and am I talking to myself?
I don't know where Sarah is.
Huh. Maybe Sarah just stepped out for a bit.
They promised us cat cam, but we got no cat cam.
Oh, you did. You just didn't last long.
I didn't get cat cam, and that's unacceptable.
Oh, maybe if you weren't so busy twerking, you'd be able to see the cats.
How dare you? I'm working hard down here.
Clearly. Good lord, you're working it.
Fair enough, shut up now.
It's okay. I feel like it's important that we watch this together, so my perspective is understood by the mods and everyone here, because this part at 2455, I feel like, is nothing but downplaying that in favor of focusing on their age.
Yeah, but what about the clip that plays later where I say...
It doesn't matter. That clip
I think it does. I think it does. I think taking me out of context does matter. I think if we also play the other clip as well.
Okay, so what's the other clip at?
I'll go grab it.
Okay. Sir, I think they're dealing with cats, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Okay, I just realized I can't. So my microphone is hooked up to Discord, so I can't hear anything coming out of it. So I'm gonna have to use my phone.
Alright, just while you're sorting that, someone in chat asked, is your end goal still to have the video removed entirely?
I mean, I don't think we're gonna come to an agreement that everything is like bad, but I think at the very least the second video is pretty undefendable.
Okay, alright. Just wanted to clear that up for chat.
The first video, I mean, you know, it's whatever. He's going through the Jaden situation. We all agree that's shitty.
And the odd ones out.
Yes, and there are certainly things in the odd ones out stuff that is worth talking about. I'm not here to say that that's not the case.
So I got back. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was making spaghetti, by the way.
We've been waiting for you, homie.
Oh, I'm sorry. So to move on to what, or to ask me?
I want to play a clip for the chat, and Jar wants, and after that clip's played, Jar wants another clip played for context.
Oh, okay, sure. Is it gonna be something for me to download and then I'll play it?
If you want to download it, or if you want to play it from YouTube,
do you have it as a downloadable file, or?
I don't have it as a downloadable file. No, I know it would take a little too long.
Okay.
It's a 20-minute video, but we're not watching the whole video. We're just watching a little bit.
Okay, sure. Let me go ahead and have my. Let's see here.
I'll just link it to you.
Yeah, go ahead and link it to me, and then tell me to go to the timestamp.
I linked it in VC context, and I'll send it to you privately real quick.
Okay.
It should be linked at the timestamp. It should be linked at
but
the... Why did it not send to you?
All right, 2455? That's what the timestamp was. Okay, so let me go ahead and share it. Hopefully I have my watching video on YouTube still set up. Nope, that's not it. Let me go ahead and... You see.
Because if you just watch the last debate, really wouldn't be made clear why I feel so strongly about this.
Yeah, this isn't the bet. I mean, it's... Oh god, I have this set up with it from a previous video. All right, I'll just play the clip.
Okay.
So this should go through, everyone.
Tina was 19 at the time. Wow, they were both teenagers. A whole 2-year age gap. This is just like the Call Me Carson situation all over again, which is pretty ironic considering Daft looks like the younger brother to Call Me Carson. If you want to hear my coverage about this situation, check out my video, 20-year-old child and 19-year-old adult. Wait a second, why would I mention a video that I did previously to bring new light on it? Oh, that's right,
sound,
for money. Oh.
Huh? What is it?
Chat said there was no sound.
There's no sound.
Oh, there's sound.
Yeah, there's sound. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm playing the...
Wait, I'm not even getting...
Yeah,
You lied to me. Sorry.
What? Okay.
money
Yeah,
off
it
of it
sounds
because that
gameplay.
video got demonetized. Now, one thing I haven't seen Daft get called out for is that he brought this point up against Tina Fey in his Papa Fear Gaming video, right at the very start of it. But of course, he worded it in the worst way possible. And this happened after the drama supposedly ended between the two of them, after he doxed Tina Fey. Harley TBS already did a pretty good video.
Is that where you want me to stop, or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
The part was more at the beginning when he was like, it's like
Okay,
when he was
so-
doing the exaggerated voice
Okay.
and all that.
Okay.
Okay, so can you play the clip from 28 minutes,
God
25
damn it! I just
seconds?
closed it. Fuck.
Yes.
28
There's
minutes,
two
25
clips. Two
seconds.
clips.
Okay. I'm gonna go back. I have to hear Jar's voice
But he-
twice. Okay.
Quick, Hako, real quick, Hako, check your messages.
Oh. Okay. All right. So where was the other timestamp you told me to go to again? Let me put this back up here. What timestamp?
Okay, let me reopen my phone because I had it there. 28 minutes, 25 seconds.
All right. 28 minutes, 25 seconds. All right. And here we go. Close enough.
For him not taking down this tweet.
Now, did Tina catfish a few people? Was that wrong? Yes, but that doesn't put Daft in the right at all. No one
Yeah, you
deserves
don't-
to be
you don't have to
doxxed
play
for
for that
something
long.
like that.
Okay. All right. There you go. All right. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So no one deserves to be doxxed because someone was catfishing. And I don't... Here's my perspective, right? In my honest opinion, my reasons for not liking Tina Fate 1 begin and end with influencer catfish someone under 18 while being over 18. Right? Now, obviously, he can be potentially forgiven for what he did, because he is a kid, like Jar says. But, like, when you word something like it was, like the way that it was in the clip that I showed, it downplays it. That is just downplaying.
Yeah, and what Daft did was upplaying when he mentioned, without mentioning the age, just mentioned they catfished a minor.
I don't think he's upplaying.
I think he is. I mean, I've explained why, because this is what people think of when they hear that term. I've explained that earlier in this call.
Is this going to be a brick road or a brick wall here?
I think this might be a brick road, but
Wall.
yeah, I feel like that clip right there was just 100% like downplaying in favor of that. I mean, and it's not because of the information that you mention, right? It's the way that you present that information. Does that make sense? Like when you present it in this like comedic way, like, it's not that big of a deal, you know, like the age of consent here and the age of consent there, and if you want to go into the rules, like when that wasn't like what we were, that's not what the discussion ever was about.
But I did later on talk about the whole catfishing thing, and I did say that was wrong. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Right, you did, and I know
It's
you
just
know it's
that-
wrong, but you also
Yeah, it's just
downplay it.
Daft brought up the whole catfishing a minor thing, so like I was like, why is he leaving that part out?
Right.
And that's what you say. That's it's not the age difference is the contentious part. It's the catfishing part. But to me, I'm just like, then why won't he bring up their age? Like he's bringing up that as if it's important, but yeah.
I just think when someone's in high school and someone isn't in high school, there's an inherent imbalance of power. Just because one person understands how the world works way better, especially someone who's as popular and as like supported as Tina Fate 1, compared to their victim, which was just some random dude some random nobody on the internet. Like,
But I didn't lie about the situation. I said what happened. You can say I downplayed it, but I didn't lie about what happened. I didn't cut context or anything like that.
The problem is the presentation, not your words. You're making it into a joke, and it's not a joke. And when you make it into a joke and you explicitly talk about the points that defend Tina Fate and then don't adequately express how predatory the behavior was, It seems like people who watch your video are going to come out of it with a way better opinion of Tina Fey than they really should.
I mean, I guess I was technically making fun of the situation by doing a goofy voice, but like I still put out all the information out there that was true. If people have a problem with what Tina Fey do, or if they don't, I don't think me doing a goofy voice is going to sway them either way.
I mean, it presents it like a joke. You're presenting the Tina Fey situation like it's a joke. And then you're like, yeah, sure, the catfishing is bad, but the age difference. And I'm like, the catfishing is bad, but there's also a little bit of an age difference. There's a difference in presentation.
I will say something.
Goofy voices. Goofy voices. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, Lai, remember Fusion?
I do.
Yeah, I don't know, like how I feel about something like this. I would definitely like not discuss the age difference like that. Like when Fusion pulled the crap that he did, like that didn't mean anything at all. Like, yeah, sure, the people that he was doing things with were like two or a few like years younger than him, but he was still like 19 at the time, and we weren't okay with it at all.
Because he was soliciting nudes from a minor and he knew it.
Yeah, I don't.
And so did Tina Fey.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, Jar. And I'm not stepping in like to, because I want to deliberately bash you, but I'm like, are you sure about this one, dude?
Well, I wanted to hear what others' thoughts were, and like Tina Fey is not a hill I'm willing to die on. I mean, they are a catfisher at the end of the day, but I don't think goofy voices can be used to defend predators because, I mean, EDP has been trying to do it for years. And
hold on. There's a difference here. There's a difference between EDP using a goofy voice to try to downplay his own actions and you, a third party with a large following on the outside of a situation, using a goofy voice like that reads to your community as Jar doesn't take this that seriously, so clearly there's a reason why he doesn't, because Jar is to be trusted. That's why I keep telling you people that your platforms aren't just there for fun, they're also a responsibility. The issue here that you seem to, and I don't think there's any malice here, I don't. I think you genuinely don't understand it. The problem here is that this person had malicious intent and went after somebody they know is underage to get nudes by catfishing them. It's bad enough to do it to begin with, and again, I told you what my value was last time we talked about this, that if it was two people of that age group, or that age difference, that shared nudes and they weren't being malicious, I pull them aside and tell them to knock it off, and then I'd, give them like a pat on the back and tell them to go back to, being normal. But in this situation, the problem is the deception is of malicious intent by nature, and knowing people like Tina, David, there's more than one. Because there's always more than one, which is one reason why I took issue with how this was handled overall. So what you need to get to the understanding, Jar, is you're focusing on the only 2 years, but the 2-year age gap isn't the main issue here that people have. The main issue here people have is this person was duplicitous and malicious in intent in order to convince a child to send them nudes. That's the crux of the issue here.
That explains everything that I had a problem with that video, or rather with the Tina Fey stuff in that video, succinctly. Those are the only complaints I have about the Tina Fey video. If you want to stand by that, I'll have to respectfully disagree with you.
Okay, well, Tina Fey is not a hill I want to die on because I don't like their art at all. Like, even if not saying, oh, they're a good artist, therefore they can catfish minors, but if 3 people in this chat can say to me that my wording can lead people into thinking that Tina Fey is innocent, then I guess I could start trimming that section down. I mean,
not necessarily innocent. Not necessarily innocent. We're referring to the comments of the whole like 17 and 19 thing. That's what we're referring to. It's mainly a no on that part.
It just makes it seem less serious, and like people shouldn't take it as seriously because like it shouldn't be cared about. It's like, oh, it's only this age.
That's what we're referring to.
Real quick, Mally, you can talk.
Yeah, you can talk.
I just didn't want to interrupt you guys. We're doing fine, so I just put it in chat.
What are your thoughts, Mally?
I'm just going to read what I put in chat. I said that it feels like you've been putting emphasis on the opposite ends of this discussion. Like, Jar, you were focusing more on the idea that it's just a 2-year age gap and so it's not bad, whereas Creepy was more focused on catfishing and how that's inherently predatory. And then I added the addition that even if it is a 2-year age gap, underage nudes are still underage nudes, therefore CP, therefore predatory.
Well, I did bring that up in the video. I did say, while the age of consent may be 17 in the state me and Daft live in, because we both live in Texas, over the internet it's still considered CP.
Yes.
I will,
legally, yes.
Yeah, I will comment on one thing that somebody mentioned in the chat, like, you know, memeing, like, can you meme on predators? Oh, you absolutely can. I mean,
you can, as long as the joke.
Yeah, me and Lio did.
That they're stupid.
Me and Lio did an entire video on Vita, like, the entire fucking thing was memeing on him because it was personal. Like, you watch that video, you know that.
So, real quick, yeah. I want to address a couple things here. Firstly, Rabbit just admitted in the call they stopped taking the Tina Fey seriously thing because of Jar's video. But on top of that, like, if Daft lives in the same state as Jar and I, why don't they just, like, have a fist fight? Texas is a mutual combat state.
I don't disagree.
A medical condition.
Well, then we can give him a sword. We can make it that way.
I mean, you're gonna have to equalize this by, like, making it like a duel with a gun, because
here's the deal. I'll take out both your kneecaps, and then you can throw the fuck down by fighting each other. Now Daft's
just even more crippled.
Does he have a hard time
walking? I will say this.
He has a heart condition, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
oh god,
the dented chest thing.
Now, out of everything,
very public about that. But
okay, so I just want to say, like, Tina Fey is not a hill I'm willing to die on, and I did read the questions before they were asked, and out of all of them, the Tina Fey one was the main one that I was like, I'm probably going to have to take the fucking L on this one. Well, and they're not a hill I want to die on. Anyway.
No one wants to die on that hill. A lot of people have, and it stinks, man.
Well, fuck. All right, well, with that out of the way, are we at number 3?
We're going to, yeah, let's move on to Ethereon.
We're at 1 hour, by the way. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this one should be pretty quick. Because there's not a lot. Okay. So, from my watching of your video, it seemed to me that your issue with Daft is that he mischaracterized Ethereon. And you, I think the main points are that you thought that he should have credited the podcast that was shown in the video, that that Daft overly played up the bigotry that he took part in on Twitter, and like basically kind of like misrepresented that, right? Let me get my actual list. I have a list somewhere on this.
Yeah, machine. Because I have the list up here too, and you're going all over the place.
No. When I say the list, we're right now just talking about Ethereon number 3, right? How did Daft mischaracterize Ethereon? And I was trying to clarify something, but feel free to just answer the question on mute.
Okay, so obviously there was that tweet where he put it up and he says to not fall for all that colorful emotional bullshit, but if you like read the tweet, he's saying it in a way that he doesn't have the money to afford it. And like, here's the thing. If Ethereon is homophobic, then show a homophobic tweet. Don't like try to read it out of context and just quickly move on to the next one. Like, I don't want to do some Prismate Luke shit out here. And then there's the podcast clip was also out of context, because if you actually watch the context, he's clearly making a joke. And I know you said, later on in this, like, does Daft have to link everything he uses? I mean, by his own standards, I think he brought that up in a Foot of a Ferret video that you should link everything. But like, these people even reached out to him asking him if he could link it. And yeah, he showed the video in the title, but like, on most people watch videos on phones, and like titles of videos can look blurry on those. And if you're showing the title, why not just link it? Especially if the people reach out to you. I mean, I've used quick pieces of fan art and people have reached out to me saying, "Hey, can you credit me?" And I'm like, "Sure."
Okay. Am I free to talk?
Yes.
Okay. So just to summarize, I found a list that I wrote when I watched your video, and it was fresh in my mind. Majority, I think from your words, a majority of what Daft shows is out of context. There are no links to a podcast currently shown in the video. Ethereon is potentially a gay black man. I don't think in you mentioned this like once, and your tone seems like you're apprehensive. So I don't know if you actually believe that or not. But
could I go ahead?
Yeah, just answer that one question.
I brought it up that he claimed to be that, which a lot of people met with skepticism, and yeah, that also includes Harley. Harley met that with skepticism. Like, he was like, I don't know if that's true, but like, and Daft later claimed that he was just now claiming to be black and gay, but when you look at old messages that Daft showed in his own video when he was talking about black people, he clearly used the term our when he was talking about black people and things like that. So, well, I make it clear that it was met with skepticism. He could be full of shit for all I know. Right. I just brought it up, but I didn't say it was
like
factual.
I said. You sounded apprehensive about it.
Yeah.
And then finally, do you just so we can start here? Do you believe that Ethereon, that the words racist, homophobe, and transphobe could apply to Ethereon?
It could. I mean, it could apply to anyone.
No, it can't. You have to express racist, homophobic, or transphobic thoughts for the descriptor racist, transphobe, homophobe to apply to you.
What I mean by that is that, like, anyone can be racist, anyone can be homophobic, even if they are gay themselves. It just seems to me like Arthurion was just saying shit because he wanted to get canceled. Like, he was even like in that podcast clip saying, no, I need to be misogynistic to the level I'm going to get us all canceled, everyone.
Okay, I'm going to concede that it's possible or probable that he isn't lying about his skin color. As we know, that's sus. But I am going to refute the idea that he's gay. He might be bi. It's very possible he might be bi, but he is certainly not gay.
I agree with you there, because the way he draws women, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure a gay guy wouldn't draw women like that. But like, I've met bi people who have referred to themselves as gay, and like, yeah, he said the F slur, derogatory term for homosexual, British term for a cigarette. But wouldn't a bi guy have as much right to say that as a half black man has to say the N-word?
I mean, maybe, sure. But, like, Ethereon does a lot of homophobic shit and says a lot of homophobic things. Even in that example you brought up, don't fall for that colorful shit. Like, that seems an implication that, you know, like he's referring to like LGBT stuff in general. And also, why would he make a tweet about not supporting the LGBT because he has no money? Like, why specifically focus on the LGBT and not like other things like breast cancer awareness, women's shelters, and all that other stuff? What group of people are forcing him to try to support the LGBT monetarily that he needs to go out of his way to make a public statement saying, don't support that colorful shit? I think that's pretty homophobic. I think that's like, I hate this group of people. I don't want to support them. I don't have money anyway. That's what it reads to me.
Well, I don't know the full context of this, and Daft already like only read that part out without reading the rest of it out. So I'm just thinking, was he being pressured by a lot of people to like tweet this out, like asking him, hey, can you support the LGBT? I mean, you brought the breast cancer thing, but then that just moves it from homophobic to what do you call it? Sexist.
You just have to remember, you have to remind people that like why someone says something or chooses to focus on a specific subject is important to understanding their intention. And he does talk about gay people a lot, and he talks about trans people a lot, and almost a lot of it's not very good.
Yeah, I said that in... Oh, sorry.
If we go over on Discord, like, again, you say the colorful shit line goes along with the fact that this guy on Discord also seems to hate gay people, and, like, and like the comments that he's like made about gay people thirsting after him, but he doesn't want to be hit on by all these gay people who are predatorily coming after his V card. Like that's just homophobic. Like the joke is gay people are predators, and we've been fighting that stereotype since Stonewall, since Jeffrey Dahmer. So I don't see how that joke can be construed as anything but homophobic. Let me get that tweet for you, by the way. The Lyft driver one. Let's get that in there so everyone.
Wait, the Lyft driver one.
Yeah, there's a lot of tweets going in that video.
I did say twice in the video. Once I said, Daft Pino showed a lot of messages from their Discord, and I'm gonna be honest, not a good look. And I also said, like, in the video, hey, if you have a problem with anything Arthurion or Antunes do or say, perfectly all right. My problem is what Daft's doing, and the fact that he had to take that tweet out of specific tweet slightly out of context, and also use something that was clearly a joke out of context, it's like it makes me trust him less.
Okay, am I allowed to talk? Or I don't mean to say that condescendingly. Are you finished with the point?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So number one, the tweet that you said is out of context isn't out of context. The tweet is fully shown within the video, and Daft focuses on the part that's homophobic. That's not out of context. That's just talking about the thing you intend to talk about. And I think that's important. And I think with the other screenshots in the video, where you see other clear examples of him being openly transphobic and homophobic, that it lines up with the idea that this man is someone who has problems with gay people. Sure. He made a joke, but are you allowed to make jokes when you also unironically seem to advocate for shitty, like, stuff like that? Like, is that a joke, or is it just like you preaching?
Can I make a point?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me think here for a second. Okay, so with what you said first about the whole, well, it wasn't out of context. He showed the full tweet. The thing is, I still have PTSD from the whole Prismate Luke drama, where he would put up screenshots and with full context and say that they said the opposite of what they said, and people believed that. So I get where you're coming from of he showed the whole tweet, but like, and maybe didn't have the first-hand experience I did with Luke, but like, I can't agree with that as a defense. As for him saying places like homophobic shit other places, yeah, he said a lot of things, wasn't a good look. But at the same time, if he's doing so much bad stuff, why don't, and that's why I didn't complain about everything Daft did. That's why, like, I skipped over to things I didn't like disagree with, because a lot of this stuff looks pretty sus. Could he be joking? Probably not. It's hard to say. Although, from what I've heard from that clip from the podcast, he wanted to get canceled. So, like, I don't know. Maybe he's just a massive troll. It's hard to tell with this guy.
Right.
May I interject just really quick? I have a question for Creepy about this before we get lost down the rabbit hole. Sure. So you said before, why focus on the LGBT instead of something like women's shelters and all that? Wouldn't that make sense because this person is part of the LGBT?
I don't believe... personally, I'm not entirely sure they're gay based on the stuff that they say. It's possible.
All right, I'm just gonna cut in here real quick with that. You don't get to make that call. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's just he's a person who spends most of his time on Twitter complaining about not having a girlfriend. That doesn't read as gay to me.
Apparently he's bi.
He might be.
And if he's female leaning, well, that's the thing. That's how bi works. It's both.
Okay. I'll concede. It's possible that he's bi, and that the reason for that could have been because of that. But I also think that when you combine it with the other homophobic stuff he says, it paints a picture of this guy's views and ideals.
Yeah, I don't mind if you have that opinion of him. I just wanted to cut in with that particular point before we moved on.
That's
Proceed.
fine. Yeah. I also just like, again, that one tweet that is talked about in context with a number of other examples, and that tweet also happens to fall in line with those other examples. And sure, Daft didn't read out the entirety of the tweet, but he still showed it, and he talked about the part that lines up with the other examples. I don't think that's lying. I don't think that's cutting out context. I think that's just being concise with your video editing.
Could I? Oh wait, Leo, did you want to say something?
Let's have a real quick question about one of these. What does this F of the desert think he's doing using the name of God? The name of God isn't even in this tweet. What is this?
That's him talking about women in hijabs.
Yeah, but the God's name wasn't even. You know what?
It's cringe. It's weird. It's just this guy's weird stuff who posts pretty hateful shit. Like, I think and yeah. Okay, so from that perspective, I
respond.
Yeah. Jar needs to respond. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, it's just, I think this dude, could he be racist? Could he be sexist and homophobic and all those things? Yes. But at the same time, he just strikes me as a troll who's just doing this for attention, just to get, it's just that podcast clip where he said, I want to get canceled. And then he pretends to be an incel who's desperate for a girlfriend and saying things like, oh, I can't wait to go on a date with a woman, and whispers racial slurs into her ear. It just seems really trolly and not serious to me.
Yes, but when you combine it with, the other stuff he says, it falls in line with someone who doesn't, necessarily have the best views about people.
Well, how Daft could have made sure with this is he could have interviewed him.
Yes. Daft, I don't think it was good for Daft to actually interview Antunes. I think there's enough shit about him and stuff that he does on his own that you can talk about and prove without interviewing him, that he could have probably made that video without that interview. But the fact is, Daft did interview Antunes, and Antunes is way, way worse than Ethereon is. And if Antunes deserves an interview, then obviously Ethereon did too. I'm not going to argue that.
Because you had a point in your script that I had a big answer for, of you asking me, do you still think Beta Inferno's tweet was stupid?
Yeah, because you mentioned... Because, the thing is that I actually do agree with her tweet. I don't think Daft needed to interview this person. I think there's enough stuff out there that you can just make a video on them.
I agree, it's just by Daft's own standards. He gave Antunes, John Bob, and all these other people interviews, so why not this guy?
Like I said, that was a mistake. Daft made a mistake. He should have probably interviewed Ethereon by his own standards, but he didn't. And that is an example of Ethereon being shortchanged. But I also feel like Ethereon is a pretty fucked up person who really doesn't deserve defense, especially when he says the things that he does. And it's very hard to tell if it's ironic or not. And I feel like if you're going to be that ambiguous, that it's okay if people think that you're being unironic. And I don't think Daft is wrong in that assumption.
Yeah, but the interview could have also been used against Ethereon.
We can argue that for another time, but that's not
I mean, I think that's factual. He could have used that interview. I don't think that.
But
okay.
There's also a lot of ambiguity with this guy. I don't know if he's black or not, or if he's gay or bi. Just because a lot of the stuff that he posts is contradictory and weird. So it's how much do you expect this guy to be honest with you? is a question they get to ask. Daft thought, or at least believed at the time, that Antunes would be honest with him. But I don't, and he didn't believe Ethereon would be honest with him. So that's why the interview never happened.
So wait, yeah, I'm still questioning where the full interview with Antunes is. Like, well, maybe it's not 6 hours because that sounds like a lot. I still would really like it if Daft uploaded the full interview he had with Antunes.
We can definitely get to that when we talk about when we go into Antunes.
All right. Well,
I think we can skip the does Jar believe Ethereon is gay? I think that at best he's bi, and
yeah,
I think we can take his word at that.
I mean, the way he draws women, I don't think a gay guy could do that. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible, but improbable.
Yeah. Also, he keeps going on Twitter trying to get, saying I'm a virginless person without a girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah, that's why.
As your resident queer, I encourage you to move on from this point. This is not a good point for either of you.
Yes,
I'm also gay. So
we're all gay.
Thank you. I've dated men. I understand.
I'm not the only straight person in this conversation.
No, you're not. I'm straight too.
Baiji, you are literally a man dating a man.
Prove it.
Anyways, next point.
That's what I thought.
Okay, yeah, next point. Does Jar believe that Daft... Okay, yeah, we already established that that's like an opinion that you got based on the Footed to Ferret video. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long time since I saw the Foot of a Ferret video, and if that is the case, that Daft said that he needs to put a credit for every single video that is used within your video in the description, then certainly that's not a point that I would defend. But I also don't feel like that. Yeah, something you also have to understand too is that the Footed to Ferret video is 3 years old, very old video. I'm not even entirely sure he stands by that anymore. But I mean, I think the video might be still up, so who knows?
I mean, that does seem like a lot to ask of anyone. My problem is that I think the clip, if he added it, would add some much needed context, and it just really feels to me that he only used that clip without linking the full thing, so he could have taken out of context.
Okay. One, just because you play a small portion of a clip to make a point doesn't necessarily mean that it's being taken out of context or that it's an intentional lie. And the other thing is that the video and its title is shown inside of Daft's video, and I think that if anyone wants to watch that clip, there is no deception. You can find it very easily using resources within the video. Most people don't read the description.
It's just I brought up. I agree with you there. I do agree with you that not everybody
right
the description. But the thing is, I think the clip is out of context because if you keep playing it, it's clear that he's joking and he's not actually serious about taking women out. Not wanting women to have credit cards. That's what it was. It's clearly that it's a joke.
Right.
And that's the impression. And without the full context, I got a completely different impression from the video until I actually saw that clip for myself.
I assumed he was joking myself because I just assumed he was just making a bad taste joke. And I thought that was clear based on how he was speaking. I understand if you got confused by it, but that isn't what I came away with. And that's perfectly fine,
Yeah, but we're both adults, and how many minors watch his channel? What impression would they get from that clip being taken out of context? And if you say, well, it is a joke, then why play it out of context?
I just don't think that's out of context. I just think that you want the clip to be longer.
But okay, so you just said, okay, let me calm down here for a second. Whew. The thing is,
calm down.
Yeah. The thing is, the clip makes it look like he says, not giving women credit cards, that was the smartest shit they were doing back then. But if you continue playing it, it's clear that he's making a joke. And you say it's not out of context, but like to me and to I think most people, it looks pretty out of context.
I think
enough, at least enough to me. Enough to me that I think it's a problem.
I think that we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on that one. I instantly thought that he was joking around and that it was just like him being shitty. The thing with like these kinds of beliefs is that you can make a joke, but also be sincere about it.
Okay, we can agree to disagree if you can explain it to me. Why would Daft just randomly play a joke from this guy in the middle of one of his videos? Like, that doesn't seem like something Daft would do.
Well, I mean, he was just showing a pattern and history of him making bad jokes and saying horrible things, and that was just one of the things. It was a lot in that video.
I just think if you'd have to use things out of context like that, you say it's a joke. I didn't think he presented it as a joke.
Okay, that's a fair disagreement.
Okay, so can you concede on this one?
I don't concede. I don't agree with you, but I understand why you feel the way you do, and it's perfectly fine that we don't agree.
Well, we've been here for an hour.
Yep, it is perfectly fine that we don't agree on everything.
Yeah, hour and 26 minutes.
Yes, we're making questions though because we're no longer talking about Ethereum. Gray. Now let's talk about Antunes. In the second video, a big point that you make in it is that the title "Racist Tracer" was not an accurate description of Antunes and his behavior. I don't think "Racist Tracer" is an inaccurate descriptor for Antunes. Why do you have an issue with the title?
No. You're wrong on what I said here. My problem wasn't the title, Racist Tracer. The problem was I had a conversation with conversation with Daft Pina. One of the last few times we talked, I think this was like 2 years ago. He said that he wasn't calling Antunes racist in the video, and I do put up a tweet that a private message on Discord that kind of proves this conversation between me and him did happen. But I do make it clear, like, hey, if you don't want to take my word on this, fine. The thing is, if he wanted to call Antunes racist, fine. My problem was he was like, oh, I never called him racist in the video. Like, I could grab you the private message if you want.
Sure. That'd be fine. I wouldn't mind looking at it again. I know I've seen the video, but there's like between all three of your videos, you're looking at 2.5 hours of like video that I can't commit to like eidetic memory.
I'm going to tell you right now, Jar, I listened to your Twilight review, and as entertaining as it was, I'm not sure if I can take 2 hours of Jar.
I'm not, again, it's just a lot, and a lot of stuff is kind of like, hey, we need if you want context on this, you got to watch this, and this is like 40 minutes.
I'm joking, by the way. I'll watch your videos, Jar.
Well, you're supposed to watch them in order. Like, you don't watch Return of the King and then scratch your head saying, "Oh, now I have to watch Twin Towers and Fellowship. This is so much work to do."
Okay.
Okay then.
In my own opinion, if you just like want to hear it from me, I think what Daft was trying to say is that in the video, he isn't saying he doesn't outright say you're racist, but rather I think Daft probably called him a racist. You can argue semantics on it, but Daft called him a racist and he should have. So, yeah, Antunes is a little racist. He may not be sincere about racist beliefs. It's possible. I'm willing to give him that. But when you present yourself the way that you do online, with like out an ounce of like care, like he does, it goes. Even if he may not feel sincere about racism, his behavior is nothing but racist.
May I interject again real quick? I just need to clear up this particular instance. I'm not sure. We're not actually debating if Antunes is racist or not. Isn't the topic if if Daft called them racist in the title of the video and then went on to say that they didn't actually call him racist? Isn't that the point?
Yeah, that was like weird to me. It's like, what, Daft? What?
All I can say is that I believe at the time Daft thought that he wasn't racist but stupid.
No. You're missing the point here. We don't care if Antunes is or is not racist, or if Daft thinks they are or are not racist. It's that Daft called them a racist in the title and then said they didn't call them racist. That's the thing in contention right now.
Okay, so I wasn't able to find it in the video, but I decided to go back with my messages with Daft and just retake it. And like, this wasn't even like a major point in the video. This was just something weird that I decided to bring up. Like, you can read this screenshot if you. What do you think? This is in.
I would have to rewatch the video, but if I'm not mistaken, the wording that Daft probably used was Antunes comics can be seen as racist. I know at the time he didn't believe Antunes was actually racist. He thought he was stupid, but the stuff that he did was racist, which is where I think the confusion's coming from.
Okay.
But did he or did he not call him racist in the title?
Right.
Yeah, like when you call, like if someone made a video called "Just a Robot Child Groomer," I would think they would call me a child groomer, and if the person said, "Oh, child groomer" in the video, I was saying, you make a lot of jokes about kids, Jar. I would be like, but the title, you're calling me a child groomer. Now, if I really was a child groomer, not say it. Kind of don't want to. I'm nervous about this. I'm nervous this is going to be taken out of context.
No, I won't. I won't.
Oh my god.
I'm nervous this is going to be taken out of context there. Okay, how about sexist? Okay. And they said, well, I'm not calling you sexist in the video, but it says sexist just a robot. Then I would be like, okay, can you change the title to something else? Like, okay. And now if he wanted, but if that person said, no, Jar, I really think you're sexist, then fine. You can leave that title up. That's what I'm saying.
Fair.
And it wasn't. So do you concede?
I'll concede, but I'll also say that I also don't. I think that the title's fine.
You can think that. Wasn't my point.
Okay. And since you don't have a problem with the title, because like I was confused, because if you don't think the title's bad and you don't have a problem with it, then we're good. In the video, to me, I thought that what the point was that you're like, oh, come on, Daft, you knew what you were doing, like calling them that. But I guess, I don't know. It's okay. I see what you're saying now, and I get what you mean.
Okay. Because I showed that comment, and I'm pretty sure I said in the video, like, if you want to call Antunes racist, that's fine, but I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt and assume you just misremembered.
It's possible. But okay. I wrote here in big all caps letters, Daft should have given a theory on an interview just like Antunes. We've acknowledged that. I'm going to take the L on that one. At 14:26 in the second video, Jar plays an interview clip from Antunes while asserting it was taken out of context. The clip starts at 14:30 and ends at 15:39, a whole 1 minute and 9 seconds. This is a very long clip considering the video is 15 minutes in length. How long does the clip need to be before it's not taken out of context?
Okay, so in the video, so I looked at your timestamp, but you left out the part about the whole out of context thing. So like your clip is a little off. It needs to be a few seconds sooner.
Oh, okay.
But my point wasn't that Daft took it out of context. I went, oh, he only used 6 minutes of a 6 hour long video. He must have taken the most juicy parts out of context. Anyways, let's play a clip of the video. And it's just him like in Antunes having a normal conversation. I went, wow, really? That's it? Because like it wasn't even like, it was just two dudes talking, and like I'm more upset kind of that he didn't take anything out of context, because this was just such nothing. It's just, oh, we're friends, but they don't know my name and I don't know their name, and Daft saying that's not normal, and that's it. Like it was kind of boring.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair criticism. I just don't. I like I said, it's hard to know sometimes when it's like a joke and when it's not, because it's like.
Well, last time you said me using the voice with Tina Fey was joking, and now you're saying that me using this voice doesn't make me sound like I'm joking. So which is it?
No, just like like I said, you can make a joke and be sincere, right? Like you can make any joke about anything and also believe in the conclusion the joke comes to, right? Like either as like a way of self-deprecating or like as like a way of just trying to be goofy for a video. Like that gauging sincerity is hard, right? So you meant it insincerely as a joke, but I thought you meant it sincerely as a joke.
Here's the thing. As I was watching the video and I got to that part, like I sincerely thought he was going to take something out of context. But like after that, I was like, "That's it, dude. That's all you got with Antunes." After this super long interview, he says, "I have friends like was it Meat Canyon? No, I don't.
I don't think it was Meat Canyon at that.
No, I'm trying to remember his name. I called Antunes a less funny version of it. Stone Toss. Yes, I said yeah. So he said, like, I'm friends with the Stone Toss and the pumpkin-headed guy, but we don't. They know my name, but I don't know their name. And Daft was like, so they're not comfortable sharing their names with you? And he went, yeah. And then it's normal. And then Daft said, it's not normal. And I was like, that's it? I was like disappointed. Like, that's nothing. Like, why even include that in the video? It doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
So boring.
That's not the thing I got from the video. Like I said, from my perspective, it just kind of seemed like you were trying to like dunk on Daft for like I don't know.
I mean, you could. Why don't we play the clip?
Yeah, sure. Maybe that will definitely be a refresher.
It is. Is this from the Daft video?
They're all from the Daft. Sarah, they're all from the Daft video.
I thought you guys were still on Racist Tracer.
This is about his video about Racist Tracer. So this would be 1426 at
Daft Master
second video.
Okay,
Daft Master Manipulator.
Oh, okay.
Just a heads up, most of the clips I'm going to be showing are from Daft's Master Manipulator video.
Okay, can one of you guys send me that video again, because it got fucking buried?
I should have it.
Somewhere. Gotta look back at it.
I actually fucking have it open in another tab, I think. I just got so many fucking tabs open. All right.
You got enough RAM for all those tabs?
I'll link it to you now. By the way, Jar, you think I'm doing better than last time?
Well, you're not trying to make me out to be a cartoonishly evil racist person who believes black women shouldn't read out things in videos. Yes, I think you are.
Yes, I like I said, I was just shocked and full of adrenaline and caffeine, and
I can finish a sentence, and that's very nice.
What? You can finish what?
A sentence.
What?
Oh yeah. Before I played this clip, Coyote pointed out, in case anyone wants an exact quote from Daft about whether or not he declaratively called Antunes a racist, here is a part of the transcript from Antunes Racist Tracer. All right, and I'll read the transcript. Who looks at Anton? I can't say that name. All they would see is someone bashing, arguing, and promoting hate to those around him, and it would be fair to anyone who looks at what he's done just to call him a racist tracer.
I think at the time it was...
His point to me was that, like, oh, he's not racist, but he can be... I'm not calling him racist, but I'm saying he can be perceived as racist.
Okay. Yes, that was the point of the video.
Okay, so anyways, all right, so I have... I'm going to pull up... let's see here, where is...
I can tell you that opinion is no longer had. He just believes he's racist.
Watching a video on YouTube. All right, where is it? Where is this at?
Let's look at the doc here. I didn't link it to you at it.
That's fine.
God, I have so many docs.
I'll look for it if you need some help.
It's 1426, but it's like a few seconds It's a few seconds before then.
Okay, tell me, just play like 20 seconds or 15 seconds?
Press, go to the timestamp he gave you, and then press
14:26.
Play about a minute, but press J because it makes the video hop back by 15 seconds.
Oh, right before I play it or when I'm playing it?
Before you play it, press J when you're at 14:56.
Okay,
or 14, whatever.
14:26.
Yes.
All right, I'll press J.
And
yeah, if you press J, it goes back 10 seconds. If you press L, it goes up 10 seconds. If you press K, it pauses it.
Okay.
Let's play a clip from Daft's interview with Antunes.
I would say they're friends, as in we chat. You know, we have like these chats, and we communicate with each other in those chats. But you know, none of the personal information is shared, like where we live. Well, I mean, they obviously know. Everybody knows where I am and what's my full name and stuff. So, but
is that it, or just like the full clip?
Sorry, I wasn't actually watching the stream when it.
If you want to get up to the part where I say, wait, that's it, Daft,
Okay.
it is normal.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Not trust you with
Yeah,
at least
so
their first name.
do you think I was saying
they
Daft
don't
took him out of context?
Well, let me get up to that point in the clip.
Oh, okay.
trust anyone actually. So they don't. I think it's not safe to release in the U.S. I think it's not. I think safe to release this sort of information
Well, not
online.
release.
Sorry.
Well, you say you're sort of friends with them,
Yeah.
but they don't trust you with at least their first name in private conversation.
Yeah. I think that just goes to even between among themselves. You know, like all the people on Twitter in this community, they don't really know each other's names. It's not just me. You know, it's like normal.
It's
Yeah.
not normal.
Wow, really? That's the best you could do?
All right, there we go. I got to it. use that movie footage. Okay. All right, I have gotten to it. Is
All
that
right.
it?
Okay,
Yes.
so do you think I'm saying like Daft took him out of context with the clip afterwards? Like I can understand the clips before, you may think I'm saying that, but with the clip afterwards, I don't see how you could think that. Sarah?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, ask me the question again. I had to reach for something. You didn't say Sarah before then, did you?
No, we asked. Well, it could be you. It could be other people. But like, do you think that that's
have
me?
Spaghetti on the table. Okay,
You're moderating this debate, motherfucker.
prove it.
Right? Prove it.
Give us
All right,
the answer,
fine. I'll just say the
Quaylog.
gamer word.
No,
Give
no,
us
no.
the
This
answer,
whole channel will be
Quaylog.
gone. Okay, ask me the fucking question.
Okay, the question is, do you think I'm saying Daft took Antunes out of context, and that's my point?
You see, that requires me to pay attention.
Oh my fucking god!
Dude,
All right, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna play the clip again, and I'm gonna pay attention closer to it, and I'll give you my answer. How's that sound?
Oh,
that sounds
spaghetti.
amazing.
Spaghetti.
Oh my god! Please edit down this part of the debate.
I don't
once it
care.
goes
I'm keeping it in. This is great. Hold on.
Oh my god!
All right.
I'm gonna go take a piss while this happens.
All right. 1426. Right. 1426. All right. Cool.
Right.
All right. Let's go.
From Daft's interview with Antunes.
I would say they're friends, as in we chat. You know, we have like these chats, and we communicate with each other in those chats. But you know, none of the personal information is shared, like where we live. Well, I mean, they obviously know. Everybody knows where I am and what's my full name and stuff. So,
Do
but
they
yeah.
not trust you with at least their first name?
They don't trust anyone actually. So they don't. I think it's not safe to release in the U.S. I think it's not. I think safe to release this sort of information
Well, not
online.
release.
Sorry.
Well, you say you're sort of friends with them,
Yeah.
but they don't trust you with at least their first name in private conversation.
Yeah, I think that just goes to even between among themselves. You know, like all the people on Twitter in this community, they don't really know each other's names. It's not just me. You know, it's like normal.
It's not normal.
Wow, really? That
Okay, there you go.
Wait. Can we mind if we let Jar finish the sentence there?
that's the
In the
best you
video?
could do? Daft, it is normal. You didn't know my name, or my face, or really that much about me, and I considered you to be a friend.
There you go.
Right. Yep.
Okay, cool.
I had to go watch the stream itself, so that's why I was muted and deafened. So, the question that Jarrett was asking was what exactly? Make sure I get this right. Wait for him to come back from his piss.
I'm back.
Okay,
All right,
perfect.
so I want you to ask me your question then, because I've watched the clip now.
Okay, do you think I was saying that Daft took Antunes out of context?
No, that seemed to me more like you were just.
It was the stuff that was said beforehand that implied it.
Yeah, and I can understand that. It's just the stuff afterwards completely changes that. Like, what is the out of context I'm trying to point out here?
I
Okay.
didn't see anything taken out of context. I saw you like not really seeing how what Antoon said in that specific clip was all that damning, other than, you know, these are allegedly my friends and we don't trust each other with personal information. That's literally all that clip was.
Yeah, but I wasn't saying it was like, you don't think I was saying, oh, he took Antunes out of context.
Not in that case, no, absolutely not. I think it's just more of that's a weird thing to focus on.
I'll concede. I'll concede that with the caveat that, in my opinion, from my perspective, it looked like that when you mentioned that the full interview hadn't been released, coupled with the fact that, you know, this clip was a clip that was jokingly called out of context, that it implies that it was taken out of context, at least like by general user inference.
Okay, but I'm going to be honest here. I feel like you have a lot of tunnel vision on what I say, and that could be partially because you're friends with Daft, but like, try to be a little bit more charitable in the future with what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I'm doing my best. Like I said, a lot of these there's a lot of video, and I even after I've spent a week going through all of them and listening to them, that stuff's just going to naturally seep through. That's why we're asking questions. That's why we're talking.
I might as well ask, hey, Laya, like, do you want to do the same thing we did last time and like cut it off after a certain period of time? Because I know you gotta bounce. I know Creepy has to bounce here in not too long.
Yeah, I mean, we can cut it 30 minutes before that.
We can keep going.
Please, just a little bit longer.
No. I didn't say we were gonna cut it off like right here, right now. I mean like here.
I think we should cut it. I think we should cut it from the main back and forth of these two 30 minutes before somebody has to leave. That way the peanut gallery can get a little bit of time in, because I know they're always itching for commentary.
I'm willing to be here for like however long it takes to debate this. I just after I'm done debating, I gotta spend all my time focusing on this video. I don't want to like sit here for another hour like asking questions like we did last time.
Okay. Let's continue. Next question. Let's see. Yeah.
Jar, calm down. Okay, what's the next question?
Okay. Okay, so since we're already like on the like face thing, at like we just heard at 16:28, Jar says that oh no. That different thing. You know, we'll just get to the face thing when we get to it, because it's not the next point, but it would definitely be a pretty okay next point. But
how about we move on to that one?
Yeah. At 16:28, Jar says that Daft is the reason why people hide their identity on the internet, with an implied that he's prone to doxing people, ignoring Tina Fate 1. In what other instances has Daft doxed people? Does Jar feel like it's a serious problem?
Wait. I thought the next point was about Antunes. I thought we were still on the Antunes stuff.
This is from the Antunes video.
Oh, okay.
This is from what you said in relation to Daft's Antunes video.
Well, I'm not saying that like I was wrong on the doxing thing, which I already admitted to. So I already admitted to that.
Just another thing that needs to be taken out.
I know it's going to be hard to like work with this, but like Daft, I'm not saying Daft is like the main reason why people don't show their face. I'm just saying people who dox don't give out their personal information.
Because of people like Daft, who...
Yes, because of people like Daft. But since I already agree that the Tina Fey thing, now that I have the new information,
okay,
even if I don't fully agree with you here with everything, I still need to take that part out because there's no way I can edit it out to have it still work. Because like once I take the Tina Fey stuff out, I would be like, you're the reason why people don't show their names with people. Right. And then it continues on to next part. People watching the video will be like, what the fuck? Because like I can't make it work. So I have to edit out that whole thing.
Okay. Understood. I think that answers my question pretty concisely. I don't think Daft's doxed anyone. Like, if he did, it's not
at the time, I thought it was much more of a malicious, but like, at the same time, like,
I mean, to be fair, Daft didn't give himself a lot of favors with the way he approached the situation, but he's certainly apologized for that one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what's the next question?
Okay, so one thing that is like at least weird to me, and maybe you can clear this up, but you spend a lot of time defending Antunes, and I know that last time you had umbrage with me, like bringing up like he's your friend or whatever. The next question after this is actually going to be how close are you to Antunes? But if Antunes keeps doing like deplorable shit that people like really don't like, why do you keep like sticking your neck out for him?
Just because he's a deplorable person doesn't mean people have the right to lie about him. I mean, look at the people who went after him. Creep Shoar, Prismate Luke, and like both Prismate Luke and Izzy were calling him a sexual predator, which I thought like, no, doesn't fit him. I didn't like that he got his video flagged down. I think people, and a lot of the info about Antunes is just not true. Now, is there stuff about Antunes that's true? Yes, and I do have a big Antunes video planned about everything that is true about him, but like everything that is also false about him. Now, how close are me and Antunes? We're really not that close at all. I find the dude to be annoying. Like we do message people on Discord, but it's more him messaging me and me just going, okay. He's yes, I'm in his Discord, but that's because like I don't do anything in there. He just told me to join because he says, "Oh, are you afraid if you join, people are going to associate you with me?" And I was like, "Okay, dude, I'm just gonna join until you shut the fuck up." But I don't do anything in there. Like I mostly just spend my time in Senate or Harley's Discord.
That's good to know. That I because like I guess like when I see you like defend someone and like put them in your video and all that stuff. It like going out of your way to do that. It seemed to me like there's more there, but clearly that was not correct. And I'm glad that I talked to you about it first before making a video. I'm not saying that I am, just saying that if I were to make a video and I didn't talk to you, that's the impression I would have went in there with.
Well, I do have a quick question, if you don't mind. Last time we talked, you said I was cool with Antunes jokes. Do you have any evidence for that? Because I don't think I ever said I found Antunes funny or defended any of his.
I'm not. I just figured that the reason why you were talking about the racist tracer video was because you disagreed with the racist tracer comment.
Well, that's not what I asked. I asked about the whole jokes thing. Like I asked you, why did you say?
I think we talked about that. Was that in the last debate?
Yeah, that was. You said I was cool with Antunes' joke. Every time I brought up a point against Daft, you would deflect and laugh at me, saying you don't get Daft's humor. And then when I would say, how is that joke funny? You say, well, you think Antunes' jokes are funny, which I don't. And I would like to know if you have any evidence that I find Antunes' humor funny.
The answer is yesterday. That was a clear example of me being bad faith and just assuming the worst out of you. I didn't have any evidence. I just assumed, based on the fact that you were defending him, that you were okay with the things that he was doing. Does that make sense? Like, I also just happen to know that your humor is like very edgy, and
I mean,
I figured like, you know, Antunes makes very edgy humor, and you're defending him, and you like edgy humor. I just made the inference. That's why I said that, but that wasn't fair. I never asked.
Okay, the difference with me, what I find funny, what Antunes find funny, is he finds just the edginess inherently funny. I don't find the edginess funny. Like, he'll have someone holding up the trans suicide statistic, and I'm like, where is the attempt at humor? It's just a suicide statistic.
It's just fuck trans people. Glad they're killing themselves. Like, wow, how funny.
Like, here's a joke I find funny. What do you call a white girl who's faster than her brother?
Oh God, is it? What?
A redneck virgin. Now, that's offensive to white people, but I see the attempt at humor there.
No, it's mostly offensive to rednecks.
Well, yeah, southern white people.
Thank
but
God no one watching this is from West Virginia.
Let's move on.
But okay, good. I'm glad that we cleared that up. One of the questions I was going to ask was, since Jar recognizes that Antunes is a problem that constantly has to be dealt with, why is there no second Antunes video? But obviously, you're working on one. Good on that.
The reason why I haven't done a second Antunes video is because, like, every time I got started, I found out like a lot of the information people were spreading about him was false. And also, he's already had like 20 videos made on him, bare minimum. There's probably way more than that, 5 of which already have over 100,000 views. Like, even if I was like the most anti-Antunes person, me making a video won't add that much to the pile.
Okay. I don't want to linger on this too much, but you said that like you kept finding information that wasn't true, and here I am finding a lot of information in your video that isn't necessarily true. It just kind of feels like the standards for Antunes is higher than Daft is.
Well, the thing is, I got into drama with a lot of the people who talked about Antunes, such as Prismate Luke, for example.
No one's going to defend Prismate Luke.
Izzy. There's a whole thing with it into it right now, but it's so far just been one video. But the thing is, it's just a lot of misinformation spread about him, so I want to clear up the misinformation and talk about the things that are true. I'm thinking of doing like a Better Call Saul type of thing.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. It's just because you're more intimate with the situation and not necessarily like, you know, you're changing your research tactics. Because okay, in the second video, we're just gonna move on if that's cool.
Which number?
Well, they're not all numbered. I have a document.
I know, I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have 2 documents. One for your questions and just stuff, notes that I had, and I numbered a few of them. So this would be just under number 5.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. In the second video at 2002, Jar plays a clip that brought up Daft's history with tracing. I think it's Antunes saying this, but just because Daft traced artwork, when you brought up the history of like during that part of the video, when Daft was talking about Antunes tracing, you brought up Daft's history, and Antunes is the one who like said it in the video.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is that just because Daft traced artwork when he was a teenager does not mean that Antunes tracing and monetizing stuff that he traces should be encouraged.
Okay, I agree with that. That wasn't my point.
What's the point in the video?
My point is that it was just to bring up that the overwhelming people don't. Daft used to be a tracer, and I do believe I also played this after the Antunes section. So you said it was at 20 minutes 02. Let me check the video.
Yeah. Saying it was in that part.
Yeah, it is in the Antunes section, but it literally goes into, because I think I did have to edit something out a while ago. So did I? I don't remember. Point is, it segues into the everything else section, so it's not really an Antunes. Well, I can.
It doesn't matter. It just
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The thing is, the overwhelming majority of people don't know that Daft used to be a tracer, and he sold his trace art, which is the thing he called Didus out for. And I just thought it was weird that he didn't bring up that he used to sell trace art. Like, if he stopped, cool. Even if he didn't stop, except for the selling thing, I don't really care if someone traces. I don't want to get into that with the art community, though, because that's not my strong suit, because I can't draw for shit. It's just that, I just think it's weird that the overwhelming majority of people don't know he used to be a tracer, and he didn't bring it up until much, much later that he used to trace.
I think that's just factually wrong. Daft says it on Twitter, and he mentions it every time it's relevant. For example, whenever he talks about tracers, he brings up that he used to trace usually. There's a tweet from 2020 that shows him that I could show you, where he's openly asking his audience.
I said he mentioned it in one or two videos, and he mentioned it on Twitter, but still, the majority of people don't know that he used to be a tracer
when he was a teenager.
Yeah, when he was a teenager. That's why I said used.
And all the selling of this art happened when he was before the YouTube channel and was under 18. He was being a stupid kid and no longer agrees with that point of view. How is that him being a hypocrite? How is that him lying? How is that him being non-transparent? He's mentioned it in multiple videos and on Twitter. Does he need to say it in every video?
I'm not asking him to mention in every video. No, I'm not going to be that dickish. That's asking for way too much. The thing is, I just think it's weird that it took him so long to be upfront that he traced, and I'm suspicious about it, but it's not a major point in my video. It's just something I was kind of okay, that was kind of weird that he used to be a tracer, and I didn't know that for the longest time.
The video.
May I interject? Just as someone that's watched Daft for 4 years, I didn't know he was a tracer until the drama with Antunes went down. Maybe he mentioned it on Twitter and whatnot, but after watching his videos for 4 years, I had no idea. There's every chance I missed which video it was mentioned in, but I can see why Jar would have the impression that he had never mentioned it before.
I know it has been mentioned in videos. And it's also something that is something that happened when he was a teenager and disavows.
Well, I don't think anyone's arguing that the problem is that he was a tracer as a teen. I don't think that's the point. Correct.
Jar just neglects to mention that.
I said he used to.
But not as a teen. You leave out the age. You just said that he used to. The used to could be when he first started the channel.
I mean,
used to isn't okay, sorry, I'll let you talk.
I mean, you had a problem with me having a problem with Daft leaving out the age. So, it doesn't, whether he was a teen or an adult, even to me, that doesn't matter, because I just said he used to. Whether that could refer to him being a preteen for all we know.
Okay. What if I were to put it like this? Let's say, for example, Tina Fate 1, it's 30 years in the future, never catfished anyone else, doesn't stand by what he did when he was basically a kid, and no longer stands by it. And then some guy makes a video and says he was catfishing minors without giving the context that it happened nearly 10 years ago, or however long in this example. Wouldn't you have an issue with that?
But that's the argument I used, and I thought you and a lot of other people in this chat had a problem with that point, and I think I even conceded on it.
That's not the issue.
And even then, you're comparing tracing to catfishing. This is
you're the one who brought up the comparison.
I with the age thing.
Yes, because the age difference between two people interacting with each other versus a petty crime being committed 10 years ago. Completely different.
Okay. But the thing is, with me, I'm saying, mention that it was a 2-year age gap. With Daft, I'm just saying, yeah, he used to trade. Like, it's not whether he, to me, like, I'm saying to me personally, whether he used to trace when he was 19, 20, or 12, I'm saying he used to be a tracer. And I think most people watching my video would presume that was before he started his YouTube channel when he was calling out everybody for tracing.
Would they, though? Like, you don't provide any other information, and then you you wouldn't know that. From your video, you would assume that he's like intentionally trying to hide it, but like he's brought it up in his tracer videos. I think he even mentioned it in the. I could have sworn the way that I learned about it, and I could be just misremembering here, but I thought it was in that the Saul Goodman video, which is like one of his most popular videos.
Yeah, I think he. Hang on. Sorry, I have a bit of gas in my throat.
Yeah. Put your words
together. The thing is, I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying he never mentioned it before. Like I said, he mentioned it on 1 or 2 videos and on Twitter or whatever. But the majority of people don't know that Daft used to be a tracer. That's all I'm saying. Like, he used to be one. I'm not trying to say if he was a teen, preteen, adult when he used to be, because that's the only information I had. And I don't think it's important if he was.
If he was
Jar,
a kid?
mind if I interrupt you? I just thought that it was Jar the one who argued that you need to share all the context that you can, otherwise it's a lie by omission. I thought that was your stance, not mine.
Yeah, the thing is, I didn't have the information of when he drew it, but I don't think it's as important to bring up when someone used to be a tracer as when how old they were when they catfished a minor. I think one is more important than the other.
Okay,
right.
So let me go ahead and ask this. All right. All of the tracing that Daft did, like, was he a kid or was he an adult?
Yes, he was under 18.
Like, for all the tracing?
Yes, before the YouTube channel.
Okay, so here's hold on, let me explain this for you, Jar. Creepy's thing is kind of like mine, where, do you want to hold somebody accountable for something like this when they're an adult when they did it as a kid? Like, I mean, do you like,
had nothing to do with his YouTube channel, even.
Yeah, or even before his YouTube channel.
The thing is, I don't even care that he traced. My thing is
and why bring it up?
Because he always brings it up himself, and I'm like, but you.
So he always brings it up now.
But he did it as a kid.
It's just I think more people should know about it. That was my only point. The overwhelming majority of people, like, he brought it up.
Mind if I interrupt again? There's just like a bit of a contradiction here, because you say that no one knows, but now you're saying that he talks about it all the time. So
no. I said the overwhelming majority of people don't know. I don't think I said he talks about that he used to be a tracer all the time, because he definitely doesn't.
Okay, hold on.
I think Jar, when he said talks about all the time, is referring to people who trace.
Okay.
Now, something Jar needs to be aware of: there's not an artist in existence is never traced. That's literally part of learning how to draw.
Daft also admits that's a mistake, and he's dedicated his platform to fighting people that do it, and you're calling him a hypocrite for that. I don't...
Well, Lyle isn't done.
Thank you.
Sorry.
While you can sit there and, of course, take umbrage with selling traced art, as you should, if that happened when Daft was a literal child, that must be taken into account. This kind of argument's like somebody you know for a long time was a serial smoker. Then he wound up quitting smoking because of the damage it does, and now he's an anti-smoking advocate. You going to him and saying, hey, well, you used to smoke, isn't... First of all, it's a really bad argument. If somebody admits that they did something and doesn't want to continue it and fights other people who do, that's not even a call to hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is being against something you are currently doing, which is not the case with Daft. So I think that that's an extremely weak point.
And when you bring up Didus as like him being a hypocrite because he called Didus out for doing the same thing, it's like, yeah, because Daft doesn't do it anymore and hasn't done it since before the YouTube channel.
Okay, so, well, I think it would be important if Daft mentioned, oh yeah, I used to do that back in the day when I was a preteen, when in the Didus video. I can see where you're all coming from, and you know what? I've taken a lot of W so far, so I guess I'll just take the L on this one.
I appreciate that, because it's like, you know, we always bring up the tracing stuff that Daft did, which is like, you know, he spends his platform fighting that, and in your video you call him a hypocrite because he's calling that out.
To be fair, that's why I put in the everything else section, because that was with all the points that I was like, I don't care for these, and just threw them all there, because I was lazy there, so you know what, I'll take the L and see if I can edit it out of the video.
Yeah, that's partially why we're here, actually, though. It's because like you threw a lot of things at the wall, and not all of them are very great arguments, and then when you mix them all together, it goes to make the video worse and shittier.
No, I would like to talk about that at the very end, but let's continue.
Sure. Yeah, we are at about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Okay, and we already went through the next point. Jar says he does not believe in digging too far into someone's past to make them look stupid today. If so, does Jar believe that bringing up Daft's tracing as a teenager in this instance falls within line with that moral?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say, like, I'm winding down on time too. I gotta give somebody an important phone call. Fuck.
Okay.
Okay. All
I'm just gonna skip the Puppy Chan question, because I think we all need a little less Puppy Chan in our lives.
Oh, come on! I had something really good for it. Okay, fine.
It's okay. I'll just drop it. All right. We can all agree that Antunes is a little crazy sometimes,
And fat.
But moving on to Young Don, does Jar feel his description of Young Don, your description, like in your video, gives people an accurate picture of who he is?
What do you mean, my description?
Well, you talk about Daft's criticism of Young Don, but I don't really feel like in your video you yourself give a very good summary of who he is and why he's unhinged.
I could have done better there. I was just trying to... The video was about Daft, not about Young Don, but I've looked into Young Don. The dude is... Even in the dude's own video defending himself, he makes himself look homophobic. Like he said, I don't hate gay people, but if my child grew up to be one, I would feel like I failed as a father. And, you know...
I didn't have to play that clip for you guys.
Yeah, like that was like... That one alone, it's like... Okay, and I understand what kind of group of people he's from, so like comments like those are common with, you know, Christians.
Called?
Bible time? Is it Bible lesson?
Right.
No, you see, there was a joke an edgy joke that I do. You think I'm going to say black people, but no, I say Christians, because he's both of those things.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's a nice and quick one. And finally, here's something that makes me feel uncomfortable, and I'm going to do my best to tiptoe and make sure that I don't accidentally throw an accusation at you, like I did the last time when I had this point brought up. But how do you feel about Windigoon and Vertus Joe's contributions to Young Don's video? To the Young Don video?
Well, with Wendigo, I was just shocked. Like, my only point about Wendigo was he got someone with like millions, like over 1 million subs to appear on his channel. And that was basically, I think that's all, if I'm remembering correctly, all I said about Wendigo. As for Young Don, I think he's a bad influence on Daft, and I think he's like he was the reason why Daft even made that video defending I believe it's High Guardian Spice in the first place, but I didn't mention that because I didn't know that for sure.
Okay. To reiterate, I want your opinion on their contributions to the video. Not how you feel about them as a person, but rather the work that they contributed.
Okay, with Young Don, I don't think I said anything about Wendigo, from what I can remember, except for like, wow, he has showed up on this channel. So Now, could he have contributed to the video? I didn't mention if he did or didn't, but with Veritas Joe, what I said was, now, to be fair, I think I said like, because the reason why I brought up his point was like, now, the first point I'm playing is from Veritas Joe, but this is Daft's video, and he probably wrote the script himself. I'm not saying that Daft definitely wrote the script himself. I'm just saying probably. But like Daft also makes some similar points later on, so I don't know who's more responsible for that, but it's Daft's video at the end of the day.
Right. It is Daft's video at the end of the day, and I'll agree with that. My where I take umbrage is with the phrase probably wrote it himself. You're someone who doesn't necessarily have the best optics into understanding how Daft videos are made. And there's no way you could have known that. You're just kind of pulling that out of your ass. And Verdish Joe heavily contributed to that video. And also, Wendigoon wrote his own stuff and read the script and watched it and liked it. If you want to criticize Daft for the Young Don video, you have to criticize Wendigoon. You have to criticize Verdish Joe. They both contributed. They both were a part of it. And they both agree with it.
Okay, you say I pulled that out of my ass, but I didn't. I said he probably wrote the script himself. I said it's probable. I didn't say it was 100% true.
What proof?
Huh?
What would give you the impression that he wrote it himself?
Well, it's his video. Like I like if someone comes into my video and someone says, this is probably something Jar wrote himself, I'm not going to be butthurt about it because even if I didn't write it, because I'm like, well, I can understand why you can take that assumption. It's my video. I was the one who uploaded it. I get blamed for edits that happen on my channel all the time, and I just accept it because it's my video at the end of the day. First rule of leadership, everything is your fault.
Right. Again, we agree on that. I just think that you insinuating that Daft wrote it himself also has the implication that the other people in there are just reading off shit he wrote for him. And consider, when you combine this with the fact that Verdish Joe is being called a lapdog for white liberals,
wait, whoa! When did I call him that?
No, not you. Let me explain. Verdish Joe, after the Young Don video, was being called a lapdog for racist liberals. And in your video, which you say that he probably didn't contribute to the script. And it's not that you're making that claim. It's just really bad fucking timing for that kind of phrasing to come out. And
I think this is a really big stretch to make a point, man. Like
it was in Young Don's reaction video.
I mean, it's like 2 hours long. I don't remember the full thing.
That's fair.
He was unhinged.
Right, he is. Again, I'm not trying to accuse you of that. I'm just letting you know why that had such a reaction. That's obviously that's not you. But I still feel that if you don't know if someone wrote their own script or if you don't know it for sure, just like adding the word probably.
All right. That's why I said probably.
All right, I feel guys, I feel like this is more of just like creepy. You're telling Jar like, hey man, just to let you know, like so and so is going on. I'm not sure if this sounds less like more of a point of debate and more of creepy just telling you like, hey, this sounds like it was really badly timed. Like, does this really need to be a debate point?
No. If he said something different, it could have been, but we're moving on.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh yeah, I need to.
We're moving on.
That.
Moving on. That's all I have for the Young Don video. So James, let's just move on to James and Jaden.
Oh, finally! I thought we were never going to get to James.
Okay, all right, this one's going to be the shortest one. No, this will be very short. We can get through this pretty quick.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm going to concede the overall subject matter of the Hidden Hypocrisy video was bad. He should have focused entirely. No, I'm talking about Daft's video.
Oh.
We're talking about Daft's video. Daft's video overall should have just focused on the fact that James made a bad mobile game, right? Like after he made a video saying, "Hey, I'm not going to make a predatory mobile game," and then he goes on and blames it on the people he signed contracts with, and it's like, dude, that's not an excuse. But if Daft focused on that, that would be fine. The one thing that I do want to ask you though is why do you mentioned that you really lay into Daft on this point where you say really, Daft, you don't understand why James took down the video? It's because of the map stuff. But I think that was more of just like a misunderstanding, that Daft was trying to make the argument that James should have just re-uploaded the video or changed the title and description as opposed to just deleting it. That's what Daft's point was. I don't understand why. Like, can you explain that a little?
Okay, so thank you for letting me speak, because I have two things to say about this. One, he said, like, he was theorizing that he unfriended one of the animators, and he's like, what might have happened. Now, he did say what might have happened, so he wasn't saying this was 100% true, just like me with the whole, he probably wrote it himself. But then after that, like when he was showing the screenshot of the re-upload, there was like a cutoff comment right at the very bottom, and the comment explained why he took down the video. It just seemed weird for Daft to even bring that video up in the first place, just to say, oh, he probably just offended one of the animators, so everyone else had to suffer. Just, you don't know that. And the first comment underneath that video that is barely in his screenshot, it's like right at the very bottom of his screenshot, explains the reason why he took it down.
I feel like Daft pretty accurately summarized why the video is being taken down.
In
Daft
the next
was making a joke that
in the next
James,
in the next video, yes.
Right. I mean, I watched the video. God, I'd have to rewatch it again, but yeah, no, I think the point Daft was trying to make is this, that James should have re-uploaded the map video or changed the title. And I think that's what that joke was about. Like when he's like, oh man, those poor animators. Sorry.
Okay. The problem is we're talking about two different videos. I just realized this. So he made that point. The problem is, have you seen my first video on Daft? Just the James section. Have you seen that?
I can't remember a lot of it. I've seen it twice.
Okay, the problem is he made the point about, like, he just theorized as to the reason why James took the video down, ignored the pinned comment, the top comment right at the very bottom of the upload that explained why, and he just said, oh, he probably made them all suffer. In the next one, yes, he does make a joke about, like, sorry, animators, but better luck next time. And yes, I think James could just upload it. It's just he's really pulling this point out of his ass that James unfriended one of the animators, and I wish he would, like, you know, he could have reached out to any of the animators. He could have reached out to James. Not saying it's his job, but it's like, why throw that out there when the first comment underneath the video, which is barely in a screenshot, explains why the video was taken down.
Okay. Let's just go one by one. First, I see the point you were trying to make now. I think it was badly made, but I get it, right? I just got a different meaning than what you were intending, and that's fine. But what I am confused about is that comment that Daft should have reached out to James. Why would you make that criticism when, like, you don't reach out to people?
Well, what I said was, it's just Daft reaches out to people. He's known for that. And I said he could have what you could have done. But then instead he made this point about what might have happened is he deleted this video. But because it's a deleted video, dude, like, it's probably because of the cart. And I'm pretty sure he came across that thumbnail while doing research. I mean,
Daft knows that it was that it's the map video. It's
it
feels silly that it was deleted and not re-uploaded.
You say he knows, but even if he did know, he didn't bring that up in the Hidden Hypocrisy video. I really think you should watch my Hidden Hypocrisy then come my coverage of that video, then come back to that video because it explains the context way better.
I still have an issue with the James comment though, because James is notoriously pretty hard to get a hold of, considering that he has like.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I said he could, but the thing is, Daft had contact with James.
It was always an uphill battle to get him to respond.
Okay, but there's other animators. He shouldn't have just said he probably just yeah.
So the chat is asking a rather important question. How do you know that he knows Creepy? Have you spoken to him about it, or
about the map thing?
How do you know that Daft knows?
Yeah, because I talked to him.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to give the chat that answer. All right.
But that makes Daft that makes him look even worse because he knew about this but didn't bring it up in the hidden hypocrisy video. Like he just immediately said what might have happened is he unfriended one of the animators. He didn't bring up the thumbnail thing. That's why I really think you should watch my first video on Daft and watch them in order instead of watching them in backwards order.
Listen, like I said, I did watch it. It's just, man, it's 2.5 hours of jar, and I don't have it committed to eidetic memory.
You're pulling my thing from earlier.
I'm being honest. I can't be expected to know the exact wording jar uses across 3 videos, each of them around 30 minutes to nearly an hour long, averaging about, like, I think 2.5 hours. Or 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think. I could be wrong on that. But point being, it's a lot to go through and have an eidetic memory for it, like in the heat of the moment. But I still think that it's just a lot of speculation and theorizing. But honestly, Daft's video had a bit of speculation and theorizing in it. I just think that you both kind of failed to meet that standard.
Oh, okay, but do you at least concede that he kind of just pulled that whole, he must have unfriended one of the animators and took it down without bringing up the whole thumbnail?
I think that looking at the situation, there is enough reason to have a little bit of speculation, but I don't think he should have brought that into video. Like I said, it should have just been about the fucking phone game.
Okay, because like I've conceded on a lot of my points of
I gotta rewatch your stuff. That's why I'm not entirely conceding, but I will agree with those fundamental points. I think that Daft should not have brought in the speculation about something else YT. I think that any speculation that isn't able to be proved or like isn't shown to have like exceptional reason for believing in it, it just shouldn't be in like a factual video where you're calling someone out.
All right, can we move on to number 8 then?
I'm actually
we're already done.
Yeah, I'm gonna
wait. Could I just have number 8 and then I'm good after that question?
Yeah. So here's the thing. So after number 8, I know Mally has really been wanting to ask a question. I think maybe like 1 or 2 other people, and then we gotta bounce it from there.
Okay.
All right, so let's get to this last one.
I feel like we just did talk about number 8. Why couldn't James re-upload a map video or just change the title?
Okay, I said that in the 3rd video, the one you told me you watched dozens of times over. I literally said, I can grab you the timestamp. I said, could James just have re-uploaded the video? Okay, actually, well, I don't have a timestamp, but I have what I said. Could James just have re-uploaded the map video or just changed the title? And then I scream out, yes, but it's still why he took it down.
Okay. That's fair.
Like, yeah,
I have seen it, just like I said, not everything perfect memory. I will concede it.
Okay. Because I do go over that in the video, and a lot of the points you have are just, you said this, but like when you have it in the full context, it's not what I said, except for with like 1 or 2 of your points. So I guess we can open up to the peanut gallery now.
Okay, Mally, you can go now.
I'm going to be the ambassador for the peanut gallery. Okay.
Oh boy. All right, yeah, you're bouncing around on the screen.
It's happening. Okay, so I just want to come back to where we finished off last time because we kind of cut short on that. Have you come to a conclusive opinion on why Daft can talk about other people's past but consider it unfair when Jar addresses these situations, like the Jaden mental health video or the Odd Ones Out friend interactions? Just because earlier in this video you actually mentioned, the stream, you actually mentioned a video that was 3 years old of Daft's, implying that it was unfair to bring this one up against him because it was 3 years old.
No, just not necessarily that it's 3 years old. Just that it's. I was saying that it's an older video and might not reflect current views.
Okay, but see, that's what I'm getting at. When Daft talks about things that people have done or said in the past that might not reflect their current views.
Yeah, but he can't. You can talk about that, and if you were to talk about that in a video, feel free. I'm not going to stop you. I don't think that talking about people's past is necessarily wrong. That was never my intended point.
Okay, but when you talk about... I'm still kind of confused on where you stand with it, because when, again, Jar brings up a video from 3 years ago, you say, well, it's old, he doesn't stand by it anymore. And then when you talk about Jar bringing up the Jaden face... Was it face reveal? I think the face reveal video, you say that the only reason to bring that up would be to poison the well, because it's something that he did in the past he doesn't stand by anymore. But when Daft brings up things that people have done in the past, like, do you understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I'm doing my best to. I'm not here to defend Daft and his personal decisions he makes when editing a video. I'm here to criticize Jar's video. It's okay to bring up past events in your video. I just think that if you're criticizing someone, you ought to criticize something that's like currently an ongoing problem, and use whatever evidence you can to present that. I felt in Jar's situation, I don't know. I don't see the connection between current day Daft and the Daft that made the Jaden animation video, because I just haven't seen anything on that level of horribleness from him. And the reason why I thought that it was a bad use in Jar's video is because I felt that that was more of an attempt to poison the well as opposed to bring up good faith criticism.
All right, I think I see what you're getting at there. Basically, you're saying that when Daft does it, it is bad, but we're just not here to talk about Daft today. Is that
correct?
Okay, cool.
Any kind of speculation in a video that like anything can't really prove in a call-out video probably shouldn't be there. Daft's made mistakes in his own projects. I'm not here to defend them.
Okay, cool. Then we can move on from that. That's easy. Although I do have to follow up. Did you actually end up being able to talk to Daft about the public acknowledgement of the porn video that he made, or not? Or were you able to find the actual public acknowledgement of it?
I'm gonna explain that a little bit. One, when I said I know because I was there, I was referring to the original time when he made the first tweet, and I thought I guess I didn't read the tweet, but it didn't explicitly mention the Jaden video, like you said. I was wrong on that. I obviously know that Daft is mortified by that video, but I understand that it hasn't been addressed, like, I guess, in a more formal way. I talked to Daft about that, and he said that he is going to address it, not in the next video, because that's coming out pretty soon here, and it wasn't able to fit in, but in the video after.
Okay, good. I'm glad you did clear that up, because I wasn't sure if I had missed something publicly. And as you said, you're not here to defend Daft one way or the other, but just because we're on the topic, that's fucking scummy. But anyway, that was all I wanted to cover.
I'll hold my friend accountable if I have to. If you know, I'll do what I need to.
So guess what? I just got another email for Lio.
Hmm?
I got yet another privacy claim on the Buttons video. Okay. By the way, and this time it's over the baiting suicide clip. How wonderful. Anyways, all right. Did somebody else in the peanut gallery want to go, or like Mally? Did you have any other questions?
No, that's all. I just wanted to cover those.
I am so sorry, by the way I answered your last question. I'm not used to being a live personality.
It's okay, I get
now
it.
You are.
Now, I'm getting better at it, apparently, so...
Okay, let's see here. I guess we'll get to these three. All right, first is Coyote. What do you want to say, Coyote? We got to make this quick.
All right, I just want to say creepy. It's all right. I'm not used to being alive either. Don't worry about that. But I do actually have a real thing to say.
All
so
right.
just give me 1 second. So this is going back to the Antunes racist tracer video. I believe that was discussed earlier. Am I correct?
Yes.
So I want to clarify if I have. Feel free to correct me. But you had said that Daft was. He never declaratively stated that Antunes was a racist. Is that something that you had said earlier? I believe it was.
I thought that's what it was. I rewatched a video last night and I didn't quite catch it, but I'm willing to admit if I'm wrong if I'm shown.
Okay, because I did find in the transcript, and here, let me see if I can just pull up that transcript again really quickly, because
I thought we went over it already.
No, it's okay.
I mean,
I'm willing to answer a discussion question about it.
My impression of where it was left off at earlier in the debate was that Daft had not actually said it explicitly, but he had heavily alluded to it. I don't agree that seems like a very cop-out way to go about it. I think if he did make a statement in the video titled "1 Antunes Racist Tracer" that also leaves off the way that it did in the transcript, I think at that point it's safe to say no, he declaratively called Antunes a racist.
I think he should have called him racist more. I think that video is way too charitable.
I agree. I think Antunes is absolutely racist, especially seeing the response that he gave and how much he engaged in tokenism in so many of those responses by saying, "Oh, look at how many people in my community are actually this, that, and the other." That was it convinced me of nothing except that he is even more racist.
I see your point, by the way. I do agree. Honestly, there isn't much of a difference between saying racist trace, people can see him as a racist tracer as opposed to just saying he's a racist tracer.
Yeah, especially when the title of the video is racist tracer. Like it's clearly going to lead people to this conclusion. And my only issue is that I don't think Daft should be as much as I agree that Antunes is racist, I don't think Daft should be given some kind of weird leeway where he shouldn't have to stand by calling Antunes racist when that was clearly the thesis.
Right. Yeah, that was my issue. Only issue too.
I can tell you that the intended thesis was people could see him as racist, and Daft was trying to tiptoe around it, but that didn't come across like I think he intended.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's one of those things that if he intended to do that, he really needed to work on that title a lot more, because the way that ended off in conjunction with that title and well as the thumbnail.
Question mark racist tracer, like
is Antunes a racist tracer, like that, because he doesn't need to clickbait anymore. He was at a big enough size that he's going to get views on this topic. Like that's just
especially when it's Antunes. Yeah, no, I can see that. I see that.
So he could very easily have worded that as a question, and that would still then there would be that leeway.
It would still have the clickbait too. So it's like there's no real reason why he shouldn't have.
Well, right.
Hindsight 2020, I guess, right?
Yeah, so as much as I agree that Antunes is absolutely a racist, I will not argue that point. I agree with it. I don't think that he should be given any kind of benefit of the doubt. I think it's he did declaratively lead people to that conclusion.
Right. I think Daft led himself to that conclusion too, and he wishes he could go back and make it more clear that Antunes is a racist.
Okay. Well, one thing, just real quick, when I was in Antunes' video and I asked him in return to leave Harley, Just Stop, and Peaches, be nice to them, and he only agreed to be Peaches, which okay, but when I was in there, he had the giant autism puzzle piece flying next to me, and autist minority speaking, and he did not ask me if that was okay beforehand, and I was like, I felt really tokenized. Now I kind of get it.
Okay.
Well, what I mean by tokenism, let me just explain that one very quickly if I can. What I mean by that is that there's that segment in his when he made a huge 2-hour fucking long video where he started talking to individuals within his Discord server that were specifically of minority groups, so that he could say, oh, these people are here, by the way, so clearly I can't be racist. That's a tokenizing act where he's now put all of these people who are in minority groups right at the forefront to say, oh, you can't call me racist because I have these people here. See, clearly, that's tokenizing.
All right. So we have, I guess it's just two more and then we'll call it. So we have Dumb Cunt can go next. And then after Dumb Cunt, we have Rabbit.
I can't wait to hear what Dumb Cunt has to say.
All right, Dumb Cunt. Hello, dumb cunt.
You do realize that because of the permissions of this room, nobody else can talk, right?
G.
Yeah.
Bye.
I mean, I'm very happy that you're calling Neko dumb cunt. That makes me very happy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Neko, did you hear that? You're a dumb cunt. Thank you.
Well, Baiji isn't even here right now.
Let me fix it.
That's
All right.
funny.
Yeah, god damn it.
Alright, sorry. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Okay, so, really quick, just a really quick question to Jar. I want to ask you, what was your actual intent with the Daft videos? Because I just want to clear something up.
Hello?
Hi, wait, am I audible? Can I be heard?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, I thought I was, like, my...
Oh, no, wait, I was the one. Sorry, I was... I was muted. I forgot I was muted. Okay, so I am willing to answer that if Creepy would give me permission, because that is one of the questions in his doc, so if Creepy is cool with me answering it now...
You can answer it now, but I may want to, like, talk about it more in depth when we have more time. But feel free to answer it for the audience.
So the question is, what is my end game with like the Daft videos, right? Like,
what's your intent? Yeah, what's your intent with covering Daft? That's just what I want to know.
Oh, well, it's honestly to cancel him, make him quit YouTube, make him lose all money, and make him homeless on the street, obviously. But in all seriousness, my intent is that I personally think Daft has messed up a lot, and I saw no one big before me actually talk about him. But here's the thing. I want to hold myself accountable, so if there's a point where I'm wrong, I'll I'll see if I can argue with it as far as I can, but, if I can't win, like with, in this one, it was the thing about Tina Fey and the tracing stuff. I mean, like the tracing stuff, I'm not going to cry over that. The Tina Fey stuff, I am a little upset losing that one because that's going to really mess up the video. But I'm pretty good at editing stuff out of videos. Like yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say the reason I ask is because I think it was in your second video. You said something along the lines of the reason I'm covering Daft is because he's a really big creator and no one else has called him out. And the reason I bring that up is because that could, because I know you. We've talked a couple of times. I know you're not like an asshole. You're not trying to like actually cancel Daft. I'm saying from the outside, if someone was looking in and they didn't know you, that would I think in some cases could bring like your intent into question if you're like doing this just to get a dunk on him just because other people are covering him.
Oh, I understand that. I can understand that. I am a bit hyperbolic in my videos. But here's the thing. I don't think Daft is awful enough to be canceled. Unless it was like his one upload. Unless, of course, his one upload was the James and Jaden video, the hidden hypocrisy and the one on Jaden. Then yeah. But those are his like two biggest mistakes in my opinion. And like he's been on the platform for 5 years. I mean, I'll go even this far. I think I've made bigger mistakes than Daft. The thing is, I just get called out quicker. And, I'm also more willing to... I'm pretty quick to admit to my mistakes.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. Also, just for clarification, Creepy, I am Neko Koda. I know you mixed me up with someone else last time in the last call. I don't remember who. But yeah, that's
I
me.
know
I
you.
am
You're
the
dumb cunt.
I am the cat. I am the cat.
Okay.
How could I forget dumb cunt?
I prefer avocado. Okay, can I go back to avocado, please?
Sure. Let's move on to Rabbit, and then we'll cut it off here. Hello.
No, you will always say dumb cunt. Thank you.
Okay, or I guess not. All right. Anyway.
You have to unmute them.
Oh, God, I keep forgetting about that. Let me do that real quick. There you go. Rabbit. I unmuted you. Okay. Well, anyways.
Sounds like a good idea. We're good.
All right.
Okay. Rabbit, if it's a question for me, they can ask it later then.
Right. I'm going to... by the way, my DMs are always open, and I'm in this server, so if you got a question to ask me, feel free.
This was much better, guys.
Now that we've went through all the way through Jaden and James, can I delete everything beforehand?
I still want you to ask me the Puppy Chan one.
I'll leave that in there, but I'll delete everything else.
Okay. because we didn't go
I
over.
I only skipped it just because I figured we were kind of sick of talking about that topic, and I didn't want to browbeat it.
I have a lot to say about that question.
Okay. That's fair. That is fair. And it is something that I do want to dig into. I just figured for the sake of the debate, we'd move on and come back to it.
I still really want to cover because I wrote down too much to answer with it for.
Fair enough. I still stand by it too. So it's not like that's an invalid thing.
Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have to cut it off here at this point. But I think you guys.
Oh, wait. I want to say one more thing, and I promise this is the last thing I got from me.
Yep.
Okay. So, I think we're going to do a part 3, but I think part 3 is where we're going to end it because, like, you know what I said last time, all great stories deserve a sequel, but the truly legendary ones deserve a trilogy.
Hell yeah, they do, homie.
The story's shit.
We only got 3 pages left.
Yeah.
So, and one of those is half a page. So we'll easily finish this next time.
And here's the thing: I think with almost all commentary videos, people make lots of mistakes, but only those who are close to the target and the target themselves can understand those. Some are worse than others. Prismate Luke.
Yeah, that homie has a lot to answer for.
Trust me, as I've talked to people who are close with Antunes, they've pointed out things to me, and I'm glad you're pointing out things that I got wrong about Daft, and I'm totally willing to correct them.
I appreciate that, and I'm sorry that I came in here like fucking ready to bite your head off. You didn't deserve that. You were at work, it wasn't a good situation. I assumed that you knew more than you did. I assumed you had intentions that weren't there, and I'm glad that we talked like right after that and cleared the air on some things, because I think this came out way better than that last one.
Yes, I 100% agree. All right. Well,
wait, before you end it, you're forgetting something. The Peanut Gallery has to speak, right?
No, we're cutting. No. I'm cutting.
Oh, you don't want the Peanut Gallery?
No, I have to bounce. Literally, I have to bounce right now.
We gotta go.
Yeah,
it's gotta end.
Yeah. Creepy has to go like work on his fucking video, and then I have to write something for his
video. That's dumb.
We all gotta write for this fucking video.
I'm helping 2 people at once with scripts. Okay.
Stop helping people then.
Don't worry, we'll have a part 3, and I'll be around the Peanut Gallery then.
Okay, bye guys. I'm gonna stop the stream now.